Call your cable or satellite company and ask them to add Animal Planet to your basic lineup. But next, higher, steeper, faster, wild rides on thrills, chills, and spills. Next on the Discovery Channel. The wildest coasters, the newest motion simulators, the biggest splash around. It's a real scream. Don't miss thrills, chills, and spills. Coming up next on the Discovery Channel. Explore your world.
A wild ride is controlled terror.
It's going to be a traumatic experience, something they'll remember the rest of their lives.
You don't know what's going to happen. You're just letting the coaster take control of you.
And then you start clicking up that first hill. And you click, 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 and as you look out, you see the land going down further and further behind you. And as you're getting to the very top,
people start getting smaller and smaller. You start to get nervous.
The adrenaline might be pumping a little bit.
you know nothing is going to happen to you on this coaster. But still, it's that fear of going, ah!
Rides are getting bigger, faster, higher, steeper. We are pushing the limits right now in the 90s of Great Wild Rides.
America is a thrill-seeking nation. And we dominate the world of roller coasters. There's almost nothing else in the thrill biz that I'm aware of that matches that. It's all over in 1 to 2 minutes.
True coaster fanatics can describe their favorite rides in every detail. And a truly great wild ride is measured in those details.
Welcome to Six Flags Over Texas and the Texas Giant, my favorite coaster on the planet. Here we go. We're now climbing the 143-foot tall lift hill. It has a 53-degree first drop, has 60-degree banking on the turns, great lateral G-forces, and the view from up here is just spectacular. Now hold on, because you're going to get to ride the Giant with us. Here we go. Woo! All right. Going into the first turn, which has a lot of power. The second drop. Oh, the top of the third hill. Into another drop and into the double up.
These are thrill-seeking, risk-taking, excitement-seeking, stimulation-seeking, arousal-seeking people.
Oh, a great floating hill. Now we're going to the helix, which circles in and around the lift hill.
Here are the kind of things that motivate thrill-seekers. Unpredictability, risk, uncertainty, intensity, ambiguity, variety.
Now we're going into the magic carpet finale, which is just awesome. Woo! Woo! Great air time.
You package all those things together, and a roller coaster gives you a lot of those things. The experience is incredibly intense.
Woo! You got to come and ride this ride. It's my personal favorite. And that is the Texas Giant.
Well, there's always been money in terror. And I think people being people, we like to be scared. You go around that hill, and you think you're going back up that reassuring climb of the next hill, but you go down and through a tunnel instead. And that's terrifying.
What makes a coaster so amazing? After it goes over the first hill, the trains are propelled by sheer gravity.
Basic law of what goes up must come down.
But what makes a coaster so great? According to experts, it should meet these basic requirements. First, surprises and speed.
A wild ride is a ride that is fast, has lots of changes of direction, a ride that has lots of surprises. It's a ride that when it's over, you kind of sit back and go, wow. It's kind of the wow factor. I think that's what it's really all about.
Next.
Airtime!
Airtime is an engineer's nightmare. It's an acer's thrill of life.
Way out of your seat on this one. Woo!
Airtime is sometime when you're riding this roller coaster and you become separated from the seat that you're sitting on.
More airtime. All right.
Airtime is also known as a negative gravitational or G-force.
Yeah.
At the other extreme, a positive G pushes you down at the bottom of the hill.
Whoa, man.
Lateral G pushes you to the side during a turn or curve.
G-forces are what really make a roller coaster exciting. If you weigh 1 G, therefore you're weighing exactly what you weigh. If you weigh 2 Gs, that's twice your weight. 3 Gs is 3 times your weight. 3 Gs is a tremendous amount of Gs for a roller coaster. You don't really want to see a lot more than that.
Number 3, variety of elements and pacing.
What makes a good coaster is a good variation on the kinds of movement you get on the ride. Hills, drops, turns, sometimes tunnels. You need to have a good combination. It's like building a good, writing a novel. You need to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Coasters need a good finale because at the end of the ride, you need to walk away with a smile on your face.
And last on the list?
Probably an oxygen tank on the unloading platform.
Every coaster addict has their own personal favorite, and every addict has reasons to justify their passion.
Hi there, folks. My name is Dan Rasmussen. We're at Buffalo Bills Resort and Casino, home of the Desperado, the world's largest, tallest, and fastest roller coaster. Right now, we're going up the tower, which takes a full minute to go over. Now, the ride only takes 2 minutes and 45 seconds, so we give you plenty of time to think about what's coming ahead here. The tower we're going up is 209 feet tall, and then the drop is 228 feet. Now, how do we do that? Well, we go 15 or so feet underground, and we're just about to go over the threshold here. You'll be able to tell by my face and some of the other screens here. Here we go. All right, now we're going down at a 61-degree angle. All right, now to come up, we're coming around a turn. Right there, we were going about 88 miles an hour. And here's where we break 90, right here. And you're feeling about 3.5 Gs, which is 3.5 gravitational forces. 3.5 times my body weight is pushing my body in the unnatural direction. To compare that, the space shuttle only feels about 3.2 Gs when it takes off. We're fixing to head into what we call the camelbacks, and that's a feeling of weightlessness here. What a ride. This is great. Now, these turns are side-to-side turns. Should have a lot of fun on these as we go through the track in the tunnel. Oh, all right. Excellent. And there you have it, Desperado, the world's best roller coaster.
We will return to Thrills, Chills, and Spills on the Discovery Channel.
This program is brought to you in part by Six Flags Theme Park. So big, so fast, so close, so go.
Your kids will tell you the best idea for family fun is right under your nose. Six Flags Theme Parks, bigger than Disneyland and totally cool. And with Six Flags Theme Parks coast to coast, great family fun is closer than you think. So take a hint before it's too late. Six Flags Theme Parks.
So big, so fast, so close.
So go.
When you really need a phone, this is the phone you need. The Fizz Cellular Phone from Philips Magnavox.
Experience the sights and sounds of the lost world, Jurassic Park. The John Williams score in exclusive 3D Dinorama CD package. The Lost World, Jurassic Park. Available now on MCA compact discs. For a list of retail outlets, call 1-800-552-3175.
If we price it smart, we'll sell it quick.
You know, millions can see it on the internet, but it only takes one to buy it.
It's a lot of house for the money.
If you're ready to sell your house, call today for a free answers book with answers to the most frequently asked questions about buying and selling. Call ERA for your copy if you're ready to sell. ERA Real Estate. We're selling houses.
You're watching the Discovery Channel. Explore your world. From the Discovery Channel and ABC News, Discovery News Break.
Good evening. Scientists have long believed that when the Earth was first formed, the sun was so faint it could not warm our planet enough to support life. Now an article published by the late Carl Sagan suggests that ammonia and methane created a layer of smog which did keep the Earth warm enough to allow life to develop. And a new study of cats has isolated a chemical that regulates sleep. It could lead to a new sleeping pill. That's Discovery News Break.
You probably think dumbbells are old-fashioned and, well, dumb. Think again. There's a new take on the basics of strength training, SolFlex adjustable dumbbells. Now SolFlex has improved on dumbbells by making them safer, convenient, and comfortable. Coated plates make for easy handling. Soft grips feel great and protect your hands. Patented locking collars can't work loose. SolFlex has been making the best barbell equipment for 20 years. Now they build the best dumbbells ever. Get fit for the 21st century. On sale now. Call now for a free brochure and video.
We now return to Thrills, Chills, and Spills on the Discovery Channel.
Why do people ride wild rides? It's what I call the type T personality, and the T stands for thrills.
The American coaster enthusiasts are fanatics with a capital F, and every year they organize regional conferences at amusement parks around the country.
The reason that ACE has conferences is so that we can enjoy something called exclusive ride time. Exclusive ride time is time that a park sets aside for us as a club exclusively to enjoy the rides that we've traveled far to experience.
For Acers, one ride is never enough. Neither is one coaster.
It's like sex for people in many respects. It is addictive.
I guess I've ridden about 300 or so coasters. Probably that's on the low side.
And you want more of it all the time.
I've been riding coasters since I've been about 8 years old. I was counting up till I reached 300.
And then I lost count, but I estimate around 325 at this point. Looking forward to another 325.
The first real roller coaster in America was found in the scenic mountains of Mauchunk, Pennsylvania. An old coal train began attracting a growing number of tourists. Its appeal? The track lasted 18 miles. 17 of it ran downhill.
They let the car loose from the top of the mountain, and it rolled to the bottom, sometimes reaching 100 miles an hour. Yet it had a perfect safety record, and it led to many of the roller coasters we know today.
But the roller coaster craze didn't go national until Lamarcus Adna Thompson erected his vision of a roller coaster at Coney Island, New York in 1884. It was called the Switchback Railway.
As with any kind of rides, it was successful because it was a new thing that had never been seen before. It was a novelty. And, you know, any roller coasters, even to this day, if they come up with a new twist on what's already been done, it's going to be a hit for at least for a while, till somebody copies it.
Rival coasters quickly appeared, each more thrilling and inventive. The Figure 8 offered several levels of fun. The Scenic Railway added elaborate scenery and sets. Designers like mad scientists tried everything. The looping flip-flap that appeared in 1895 was novel, but it had one major problem. It snapped passengers' necks.
The greatest period for roller coasters were the Roaring 20s. People were sick of World War I, so they wanted any escape they could find. And roller coasters, one of the best escapes in the world.
The race to build the tallest, highest, and fastest ride was on. The golden age of roller coasters gave birth to a record 2,000 coasters all across America.
Because of this fierce competition of trying to be the highest, fastest, strangest, and scariest roller coaster in the world, it was a very dangerous time. Inventors were treating riders as guinea pigs. If 3 people were killed and didn't return, well, next time around, we'll get it down to 1.
John Miller was one of the most prolific designers of his time. He also invented numerous safety devices still in use today. His revolutionary 3-wheel design kept coasters locked to their tracks, allowing coasters to become even more daring. Then a designer named Harry Traver partnered up with Frederick Church and Thomas Pryor. Together, the trio created some of the wildest rides ever. Their twisted creations gave riders nosebleeds and broken ribs.
The Crystal Beach Cyclone had a nurse and a first aid station at the unloading platform. That's how bad they were. And I've talked to people that have been on these rides, and it's not just mythology.
During this time, Coney Island in New York had several amusement parks attracting top coaster designers.
The whole Coney Island area, as well as the East Coast of the United States, became a mecca for designers because that's where the people were. And that's very simple. You know, if you're coming up with a new concept, build it and they will come.
And so brothers Jack and Irving Rosenthal built the highest coaster in the world with the severest drop. It opened June 26, 1927, and the people came, as did the money. The $100,000 ride paid off in just a few weeks. The name of the new coaster? The Coney Island Cyclone. The Cyclone is called a twister because it circles in and out of itself. Charles Lindbergh once said, "The thrill of the Cyclone even beat the thrill of flying." He must have been referring to its first drop.
What I like most about the Cyclone is the first drop. It's one of the greatest experiences that you can have.
That first drop was pretty scary.
I was very brave, but my mother here got a little scared.
He's a liar. I have both hands up.
Oh my God, I felt my stomach reaching the top of my head.
This roller
coaster is the ultimate because there's no other roller coaster like it in the world. It's my #1 coaster.
Probably the Coney Island Cyclone is the most imitated ride in the world. Everyone wants to compete with the Cyclone, but they're never going to beat the original.
Listed among the Cyclone's eternal fans, Mike Bootley, a coaster enthusiast since childhood.
I've actually wanted to design rides ever since I was a kid, 8 years old, building one in the backyard. And the car consisted of a wicker laundry basket nailed to a plank with roller skates nailed to the bottom of that, and several planks that made up the track, and pretty sophisticated support system. I had it on sawhorses and cinder blocks and bricks and stuff like that. It had no end to it. The lawn was the end of the ride, so the finish was always a wild one.
In 1975, Mike's love affair with the Coney Island Cyclone took on historic proportions. Mike was 17 when he wrote Astroland park owners to see if he could break the world endurance record on the Great Classic.
And their PR man actually jumped on it very quickly, quicker than I had ever imagined, and about a week later I was starting off on 1,000 trips on the Coney Island Cyclone.
After 1,001 circuits, that's 606 Cyclone miles and 45 hours eating hot dogs, Mike had broken the world record. To this day, Mike cares little for hot dogs, but he still loves the classic Twister. Today, Mike is fulfilling his childhood dream as a coaster designer. But to create a great wild ride, he has to take the best thrills from the past and add a few tricks from today.
You want people to run down the exit ramp and run right back up the entrance ramp. Or actually, you want them to run down the exit ramp and get back in line. You gotta have a line.
We will return to Thrills, Chills, and Spills on the Discovery Channel.
There's only two men I trust. One of them's me, the other's not you.
On June 6th, let's do it. Hang on for the ride of your life.
Looks like we're being followed.
From Jerry Bruckheimer, producer of The Rock.
Woo!
Make a move and the bunny gets it.
Put the bunny down.
Con Air, directed by Simon West. Thank you for choosing Con Air. Rated R. Starts Friday, June 6th.
Hi, Bob Vila here to show you a unique new Craftsman tool no home should be without. Craftsman Handy Cut Utility Cutters, the one tool you can count on for all kinds of tough cutting jobs. Craftsman Handy Cut does the job of utility knives, carpet knives, shears, shop cutters, and more. Look how tough it is to make a good cut through this damaged garden hose with a utility knife. Craftsman Handy Cut gets it done in one clean cut. It's a terrific small branch and shrub pruner. Shears or shop cutters can't trim vinyl flooring as easily as the Craftsman Handy Cut. Use the Craftsman Handy Cut to cut nearly any common household material, including rope, plastic, leather, vinyl, and rubber. Call now, and you can order your Craftsman Handy Cut for only $19.99. And remember, when you buy from Sears, your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back.
To order your Craftsman Handy Cut, get your Sears card or the credit card ready and call 1-800-347-9191. That's 1-800-347-9191. Call right now.
Yeah, they're impressive, but the science used to build them was amazing. Find out how these engineering wonders came to be. Golden Gate Bridge and Disaster Proof. Beginning Tuesday at 10 Eastern, 9 Central on the Discovery Channel. Coming up next, climb aboard the world's wildest thrill rides and meet the men who build them, the Terror Technicians, as Thrills, Chills, and Spills continues next on the Discovery Channel. Explore your world. We now return to Thrills, Chills, and Spills on the Discovery Channel.
People say there's nothing like the Beast. That's because it's the longest wooden coaster in the world, 7,400 feet long, the length of 2 or even 3 conventional coasters combined.
The reason it got so long and so high is because we kept submitting these drawings to our general manager, who probably couldn't visualize what we were really submitting to him. And he would say, that looks good, that looks good. So we were just kept getting bigger and bigger, and it finally got to where it is today.
Ride enthusiasts like Alan Ambrosini consider the Beast one of the nation's greatest rides.
Okay, now we're slowly leaving the station and making our way toward the lift hill. On the vast majority of roller coasters have only one lift hill, and the lift hill is what starts the whole coaster in motion. All the way up the hill, you go slowly and you anticipate what's about to happen. That first big, fantastic drop that propels the whole ride. And we are just cresting the hill now, and we're about to go down, down, down! This ride now is mostly about speed. There we're going very fast here. Yeah! Second hill. And now we're going to make a turn and slow down a little bit on this brake shed area here. Here we go into the tunnel. Woo! And now as we leave the tunnel, we just keep on going faster and faster and faster. Whoa! Here we go! Yeah! Now we're approaching the second chain lift. I've ridden this hundreds of times. This coaster is absolutely phenomenal. Every time you ride it, it's got so much power and speed, and it always performs. Here we are at the top of the hill. We're letting go, and we're making a turn. We're going to drop into the double helix. Hold on! Doesn't let go till it's giving you a great ride.
And it should be no surprise that the daughter of Beast builder Charles Dinn got involved in the creation of Holiday World's new coaster.
My shoe is not as big as my father's. I might fill half the boot, but we're trying to work to fill the whole boot.
With the Beast as their inspiration, it was time for the designers at Custom Coasters to create Holiday World's new wild ride.
We talk to the owners quite extensively, and we go and make a field visit. We normally take a lot of photographs so that we can bring it back to the office and get a feel for some of the physical characteristics of the site.
After the photos, the team produces design illustrations and a 3D topographic model. Then it's time to crunch the numbers into the computer.
And you can actually just take the data file and write a program to read it, and then it will generate curves and entire drawings based on the numbers.
From the computer, Larry and Bill produce 3D drawings of the coaster for drafting and construction purposes.
This is an example of the finished product. And as you can see, that's the three-dimensional view that was then overlaid onto the topographic map, and then we plotted it again, showing the topography. So the computer allows us to do more work with fewer people.
Now the project kicked into a new phase. The search for the X Factor had begun, beginning with its name.
I said, well, what are you going to name the coaster? And they weren't really sure.
And Tim came up with the idea of naming it The Raven, naming it after the poem by Edgar Allan Poe.
People could pull into the station and say, nevermore, nevermore, am I going to ride the Raven? And it just kind of came like that.
And I gave them a few suggestions about, one of them was to make the hills go all the way to the ground instead of coming up maybe 10 or 20 feet from the ground.
You get a lot more speed at the bottom of the drop. You've got a bigger drop and more thrift, and it just adds a lot to the ride.
Will was smart. He listened to all the different people, and he rode some rides, and he took the best from everything and made the Raven, which turned out to be a great coaster.
The $2 million Raven isn't even the tallest, fastest, longest, or steepest coaster. Yet its powerful design made it the top #3 ride in the world in its opening year.
We ended up with a winner. It's a humdinger.
There are other factors that go into the design phase of a coaster. Wood versus steel. Wooden coasters can cost millions less than their steel counterparts, yet they're still extremely popular with the crowds. That's what prompted Hershey Park in Hershey, Pennsylvania to build the Wildcat, a cyclone-like twister. Its designer? Who else but Cyclone World Record ride holder Mike Boothley. He and his partner Claire Hain of Great Coasters have channeled their love for wooden rides into their innovative new design.
It's all turns. It does have the traditional humps and camelbacks, which are a lot of fun in it, but it also has 12 turns in it, and they're very fast turns. We go under and over ourselves 20 times during the course of the ride.
The first drop, come down the elliptical turn, come to your pull out, and immediately turn the opposite direction. Their hearts can be at their toes at one time, and then they can be back up their head next time. They're gonna be screaming when they come down over here.
Mike and Claire's Wildcat has attracted attention because their design dares to revive the fast and furious rides from the golden age. It harks back to the best of the past with the latest in modern ride engineering.
This is our banked dirt turn. Basically, because when you're coming down off the hill, looks like you're going to be flying into the dirt bank we got down here, coming around here to our highest and steepest bank turn we have.
Thanks to today's technology, this twister is going to be much smoother than its brutal wooden ancestors from the 1920s.
With the ability of computers to crunch mega amounts of numbers, we can now use more sophisticated engineering and create smooth, very smooth, acrobatic twister rides. And that's where my interest is. And that's where Claire and I hope to really knock the industry on its ear.
Basically, the creaking and the cracking you're hearing is pieces of lumber rubbing against another piece. Lumber has to stretch a little bit. That's what you want to hear. That's what makes a wooden roller coaster.
The natural flexibility of wood is the difference between a wild ride and a life-threatening disaster.
That's the nature of wood. If it doesn't shake, it will break.
Unlike most steel coasters, custom wooden coasters require all the track pieces be cut to specification on the job site, and not just any wood will do.
The lumber is southern yellow pine. It has a treatment that protects it from the weather, for the heat, and constant heat, and the rain and the moisture, and it also protects you from the insects.
Because of the tremendous pressures applied by the train loads, braces and supports are constructed to absorb the stress.
When the loads of the train, the weight, and the forces of the car pushes against the leg, that distributes the load down the brace and into the concrete on the outside. This leg, all this would be used for, will be for tipping. The weight of the concrete holds it from wanting to do a teetering.
An 8-layered track provides additional support.
It's 8 laminated 2x12s. The steel is for your wheels. The steel wheels run on the steel track. You got a top wheel, a side wheel, and you got a wheel that goes underneath the lip. Did you fix that bump that was down there? There's a bump right there, that point.
On-site construction of the wooden coaster, however, has its own surprises.
When you're building these things, when you get to be a point where you're 100 feet in the air, if the bent could be off out of square a 16th of an inch, by the time it gets to the top, it could be off 2 inches. So I try to adjust the center line of the track a little bit to make it fit to the turn.
The moment of truth arrives when the coaster creator finally sees the pencil drawing board of 6 months ago become the standing, living, wild ride he can admire today.
this is my baby. This is my first coaster with my own company, and I'm very pleased. I'm extremely pleased. All the hard work and the labor and all the cold days and snow and rain and the stress and tiredness all works out in the end by basically making people have fun is what it's all about.
We will return to Thrills, Chills, and Spills on the Discovery Channel.
The precision engineering of the future. Fortune. Higher quality and reliability than we've previously seen in Jaguars. Car and driver.
That love of the product has come through, though, and now that we're able to give a much higher quality than they've ever seen before.
It is that introduction of world-class componentry and world-class production processes that have made the change so dramatic.
I think making this company work and this car work has become such a passion in our lives. It's become an obsession.
For your complimentary video detailing the improvements that have placed Jaguar's quality among the best, call 1-800-558-9496. See how the automobile that defines elegance has redefined excellence.
International calling plans with one flat rate sound like a good idea at first, but try calling during the week.
Bonjour, je suis pas là. Laissez-moi un message. Merci.
Here's a plan that makes more sense. Introducing a great new rate from Sprint Sense International on weekends. 30 cents a minute to France, Germany, and Italy. Call now for this incredible rate to France all weekend.
You're home. It's a miracle.
No, it's a Saturday.
Get the same low 30-cent rate to Germany.
Hans, I have wonderful things to tell you.
And to Italy, too, all weekend long.
What are you doing, Nona? Oh, caro mia. It's Sunday. I'm making lasagna.
Plus, you'll get Sprint's famous dime-a-minute domestic rate. Call now and find out about Sprint's low rates to other countries, too. What a great idea. Incredible rates at convenient times for you and the people you call. 30 cents a minute to France, Germany, and Italy all weekend. Call now. 1-800-573-8834.
Yeah, they're impressive, but the science used to build them was amazing. Find out how these engineering wonders came to be. Golden Gate Bridge and Disaster Proof. Beginning Tuesday at 10 Eastern, 9 Central on the Discovery Channel. Coming up next, climb aboard the world's wildest thrill rides and meet the men who build them, the Terror Technicians, as Thrills, Chills, and Spills continues next on the Discovery Channel. Explore your world.
Now is the perfect time to start weightlifting. The perfect time for SoloFlex. For a lot of good reasons. No other exercise is better for your overall health than weightlifting. The muscle you build on SoloFlex increases your metabolism to burn fat 24 hours a day. Weightlifting also boosts your immune system and increases your aerobic capacity. Weightlifting strengthens your bones and tendons. And nothing works better than weightlifting to improve your looks and energy. Now is the perfect time to call SoloFlex.
SoloFlex is on sale now. Call now for your free brochure.
We now return to Thrills, Chills, and Spills on the Discovery Channel.
Despite its sophistication, the technology of coaster design remains subordinate to the personalities of the designers.
It's tough, I'll tell you. And the engineers always cringe when I come up with some of these things.
Ron Toomer of Aerodynamics has designed some of the greatest steel coasters in the world. His company developed the tubular steel track in 1959 that revolutionized roller coasters, allowing for the smooth, twisted configurations previously impossible on a wooden coaster. This led to the successful looping coaster in 1968 and the corkscrew design 7 years later. But what could top that? How about a ride where you couldn't see the track below you?
We said, well, if we take the corkscrew chassis and sort of hang it upside down and hang something under it, that'll work.
Ron Toomer's revolutionary suspended coaster was born.
The suspended coaster lends itself to going down through the trees and getting very close. Looks like you're going to run into one and you turn and fly around it. It gives you more of a sensation of flying through space rather than coasting down the track.
Walter Bolliger and his partner Claude Mabillard are Swiss designers responsible for many of the world's wildest rides, like the Kumba at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, in Florida. Their reputation reassures investors and allows their firm to risk increasingly big innovations such as their diving loop.
We come to that idea by studying different figures which are done with airplanes. This was a very natural motion, and we thought it would be good on a coaster. And when you are at the top of the hill, you suddenly dive in a half loop. It's a very natural motion, so people fall naturally with the coach, and it's very enjoyable.
But like other great artists, coaster designers need their patrons. In this case, a park willing to risk millions erecting it. Cedar Point Amusement Park overlooks scenic Lake Erie in Sandusky, Ohio. With 12 coasters, it has more roller coasters than any other park in the world. Keeping with their unique tradition, Cedar Point asked Walter and Claude to create the tallest, fastest, steepest, longest inverted coaster in the world. They also wanted the most inversions, 6. As is the case with most steel coasters, the main structural parts arrived straight from the manufacturer. After 9 months of assembly on site, Claude gave their latest coaster, called the Raptor, a run for its money. The designers again incorporated acrobatic aerial stunts and took Ron Toomer's suspended design one step further, pushing the track to its outer limits.
Maybe the fact that we're coming from Switzerland, where there's a lot of ski lift, we thought maybe we'll do something like a chair, which is suspended without any floor, dangling feet, so that people really feel flying in the air with a lot of freedom.
With this design, Bolliger and Mabillard had created the inverted coaster. Its innovative track allowed dangling riders to ride inside and outside the loops. For the designers and park owners, the $12 million bird of prey more than paid off. It soared to the top 3 spot when it debuted in 1994.
Today we're riding Raptor. It's the tallest, fastest inverted coaster in the world. And we're going to be riding this thing. We're going up 137 feet. We're going to take a fall of about 60 miles an hour. And we're going to do a couple fun elements.
And are you sure it's fun?
Oh, it's absolutely fun. It's safe. You get a feeling of flying. It's going to be a wonderful ride, so please enjoy with us.
Here it comes. We're going over the top, guys.
And here we go. Enjoy the ride. As we go down the first drop, we're going to do a 100-foot loop. Our feet are above us. And now we're going to do a barrel roll, zero gravity. Hard ride spin. And we're going into a cobra roll, which we go upside down, right side up, and then upside down. All within a matter of a few seconds.
We're traveling at speeds over 60 miles an hour here.
And we're doing now a corkscrew. We're going to over again. Now we get a little bit of time to think what we're going to do, and then we do a dip and flip. Where you dip and flip. And we are going into our helix, which ends the ride, which you feel forces of gravity against your face. And then we exit the ride with a brake and a quick turn. And that's Raptor of Cedar Point.
The future of thrill rides, some say, lies in high-tech amusement. Some of the latest, like multi-dimensional studios' Galaxy Wars, can spin you around and raise your hair on end, literally. Most motion-based rides, however, aren't that topsy-turvy. They're found in theater-like settings where seats are synchronized by a computer to a projected big-screen, high-speed film.
So in a simulation ride, you have all the components of a feature motion picture compressed into 4 minutes in time, plus the physical motion and the sound, and I think it's about as intense as you can get.
IMAX's venture into motion-based entertainment is being spearheaded by Douglas Trumbull, the special effects wizard behind 2001, A Space Odyssey. He's also the director of the hit motion simulator attraction, Universal Studios' Back to the Future, The Ride. IMAX's new Funhouse Express simulates a fantastic animated dark ride. To pull this off, unlike edited films, the action must be one continuous take, shot from the viewer's point of view. The audience must think they're part of the action, not just watching.
In our business of simulation, the ability to immerse you in a movie, we think, is much, much more powerful than just a roller coaster, which you know what it is. You know what a roller coaster is. You're not in a magical environment. Things can't hit you in the face. You can't go through things. You can't have characters come out. You can't have drama and suspense and action.
Some of these pioneering new magical frontiers include the deep sea, where you can explore fantastic sea wrecks and endure dangerous encounters, as in Rhythm and Hughes's Safari Ride. The latest motion simulator rides by iWorks allows you to dodge dinosaurs on its Dino Island ride. Or whip through a molten mine shaft with its Red Rock Run ride. It's not a roller coaster, but the mine tracks you see on the screen combined with the motion-controlled seats make you think you're on a wild ride.
This is not like sitting at home in your living room. It's like going through space.
Experiencing that real and safe ride without getting sick depends greatly on the seat motions being synced accurately to what's occurring on the screen, while reflecting the real laws of physics.
Now, if you were to be on a motion base and watch a film that wasn't exactly moving the way it needed to move, your body is going to fight itself. Your brain is going to go one way, your nervous system is going to go another, and we all know that feeling, and it's not a very pleasant one. We're designing some amazing rides that are going to make you feel like you're really not just in a ride or going someplace, but that you're there with somebody and you have a direct, tactile, and physical and emotional relationship with that person. It's quite revolutionary.
We will return to Thrills, Chills, and Spills on the Discovery Channel.
When you really need a phone, this is the phone you need. The Fizz cellular phone from Philips Magnavox.
This is the hardest thing I've ever done. I mean, these people were like family to me. Remember I met Jeannie at the company picnic?
It was the best thing that ever happened to you.
Yeah, taking the new job was a tough decision.
I miss you.
Deciding what to do with my 401k money was another. I didn't want to mess it up. I called T. Rowe Price.
Deciding how to roll over your 401k funds can be confusing. Everything from choosing different investment options to understanding the tax implications. Call T. Rowe Price at 1-800-341-5592. We can help.
You know, you told me about the mutual funds. Yeah, well, they sent me a rollover kit, you know. Took me through it step by step.
Well, made it easy for you.
Yeah, piece of cake.
By providing a full range of mutual fund options, we can help you create an investment plan that meets your needs.
It's going to be a good job.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
T. Rowe Price, helping people invest with confidence for over 50 years. For a free rollover kit and a prospectus, call 1-800-341-5592.
Now, Qantas invites you to Sydney and South Australia for just $1,695, including round-trip air and hotel.
So why don't you pop on down?
See the city and countryside, with stops in Sydney and Adelaide, plus wine tasting in the lush Barossa Valley. Just call 800-34-KOALA or your travel agent for more on this and other Qantas collection packages. Call now and you get 2 free nights hotel on Kangaroo Island, home to all kinds of Aussie wildlife.
Australia's a different world, but believe me, it's closer than you think.
Come ride inside the Extreme Machines. Now, the best of Extreme Machines from the Learning Channel is available in this new home video set. See the inner workings of the fastest, most powerful inventions ever created. With miniature cameras and special equipment, you'll go places that before were restricted to only the most highly trained. Wild machines, working on all cylinders, generating horsepower and torque beyond belief. They're all right here. Extreme Machines is 9 hours of full throttle action on 3 double-length cassettes, packaged in this handy slipcase. The entire set is just 4 installments of $9.95 plus delivery. Call now to order 1-800-481-0990. That's 1-800-481-0990. And get ready for the ride of your life.
We now return to Thrills, Chills, and Spills on the Discovery Channel.
While high-tech rides are becoming increasingly popular, most experts still believe roller coasters are here to stay.
So the fun of a roller coaster is being able to look anywhere you want. You're not forced to look at one thing while you're riding a roller coaster. Every experience can be different. Everyone can have their own personal ride, as opposed to a simulator where you're pretty much forced to do what they want you to do.
However, unlike high-tech thrills, roller coasters can't be saved on film or in computers for future generations to enjoy. They must be preserved on a daily basis, which is no easy job. Just ask Brian Hauser and his carpenter colleagues at Six Flags Over Texas. Each morning, they scale the Texas Giant at the break of dawn to begin their 4-hour inspection and maintenance work.
I think the public sometimes takes for granted the amount of maintenance hours, man-hours, that it takes to get the coaster up or any of the rides up just for a day's run. You all want to be careful to stay on the catwalk and don't get your feet on the track. When any grease getting on the bottom of your feet and getting slick, we'll be going up high. 148 feet is the height of the lift hill up here.
The speeds and 1,000-pound train loads can also wear down the wheels. Telltale signs are found by spotting the grease trails on the track.
We watch the way the train is tracking, make sure that everything's good. If steel starts wearing too thin for any reason or starts wearing much at all, we come out at night and we replace it.
The distance between the 2 rails, called the gauge, is also inspected.
We'll check the gauge, make sure it's just right, all the way around the track, all the turns, all the valleys, all the hills.
While the carpenters continue their early morning safety and repair work, maintenance crews do the same with the trains.
Compared to pre-flighting an airplane, because the type of inspections we do, it's all the working mechanisms have to be inspected and checked.
Then operations and maintenance personnel check the safety devices and run the trains to see how they're working and riding.
Doing our inspection is rather extensive, but we feel it's necessary for the safety of our guests.
And that's the main reason that each ride has to go through such stringent tests every morning before we let a guest get on it. We want everybody to be safe, have a good time.
Without this kind of commitment to maintaining a top-notch coaster, some of the greatest designs ever built have already been lost to posterity. To preserve our past, enthusiasts are currently targeting several coasters for their Save the Coaster campaigns. Top on the list is the oldest standing coaster in the world, a figure-8 ride named Leap the Dips. Built in 1912, it's located at Lakemont Park in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Enthusiasts are busy raising funds to make it operational and restore it to its former glory. Also high up on the list, the Mr. Twister and Wildcat rides built by a famous wooden coaster designer named John Allen. Located outside Denver, the coasters were abandoned in 1995 when park owners relocated nearby, but opted not to take the historic treasures with them. Left to battle the forces of nature and time, enthusiasts fear they could be threatened with extinction. Belmont Park in San Diego was built in 1925 by legendary designers Thomas Pryor and Frederick Church. When the park closed down in 1977, enthusiasts feared the worst.
I've been on 524 roller coasters, and I would bet that 300 of them have been ground under by bulldozers. So when we heard the Giant Dipper at Belmont Park, it was going to be the next to go, there was a mourning among all coaster buffs over the world.
Fortunately, enthusiasts and volunteers stepped in to save the coaster. In 1983, they rolled up their sleeves and donated money and time. On August 11, 1990, the $1.2 million restoration project was complete. The ride was reopened and thrilled 1 million riders in its first year. It now averages as many as 700,000 riders each year.
The Giant Dipper was a fortunate roller coaster because a group of people cared enough to get out and save what was a rotting heap of lumber and could see the possibilities for San Diego.
Thanks to that effort, Robert Cartmel can today take us for a guided tour of the Giant Dipper.
The first thing you notice about a roller coaster is the adrenaline starts flowing. This is a tricky coaster. It doesn't look that high, it doesn't look that wicked. But we're going through a tunnel to completely disorient you so you don't know where you are. We're going up the first hill, which sounds like a marimba band. It's actually the chain lift. And the Giant Dipper is quite famous for this noisy lift. You won't hear this sound anyplace in the world. This is one of the worst curves on any roller coaster. So I'm not going to talk during this. I'd like to scream, but it took my breath away. With one curve after another, it never lets up. A true sign of a great roller coaster. It's as frightening or scary as any roller coaster ever built. So you can see why this roller coaster is worth preserving. And I lost my cough drop on that ride.
This is living proof that saving a classic coaster can be a smart business decision, as well as preserving history and making one great wild ride. The quest to build the ultimate wild ride will continue to amaze us.
20 years ago, if somebody had told me that we'd be over 200 feet today and doing all these things, I'd have thought they were crazy.
I think they're going to just keep pushing the envelope a little bit more. We want to thrill the people a little bit more. As soon as you've done a roller coaster, you want to do one that's a little bit more intense, a little taller, a little faster, and I think we'll see that.
One can only dream what's going to happen in the future.
And as long as the battle for the tallest, fastest coaster continues, I think we're going to start seeing tremendous technology advances. And for those of us who like to ride roller coasters, we're going to see a lot more wild rides.
And as long as we continue to build wild rides, there will always be people willing to ride them.
When I get too old, I'll stop riding roller coasters.
I'll never stop riding roller coasters. I started when I was about 8 years old, and I'll ride them until the day I die. I'll travel wherever it takes to ride a new one. When I run out of the United States, I'll go to another country to ride.
Coming up Wednesday on Discover Magazine, engineers and scientists are solving construction flaws and mistakes that may have saved lives. From the Titanic to the everyday fire, engineering disasters. This week on Discover Magazine. Next, meet the crazy people that built that amusement park terror on more thrills, chills, and spills. Then the hyena's back. Nature's gangster returns on Wild Discovery. And hang on and strap in for more wild rides on thrills, chills, and spills coming up on the Discovery Channel.
There is no doubt that there is a place in society for providing fun and thrills that are exhilarating, and there is a perceived sense of danger.
Some people have a very strong need for excitement in their lives, to frighten themselves to death, in other words, in order to feel that they've achieved something.
A lot of people have described me over the years as a master of terror, because really, in a way, that is what we as a company are purveying. We're purveying real terror and excitement. And I think it's probably something I'm quite proud of, actually.
In ancient times, when we used to live in caves and we had to go out hunting and fishing and shooting just to survive, everyday life would provide life-threatening dangers, and those in themselves were thrilling enough. Today we live in a more civilized society where many of these basic needs are taken care of, but we still have a fundamental drive within us to find out if we can face up to certain dangers, if we can test ourselves, if we can become more competent in various ways in dealing with situations which cause us extreme forms of anxiety. The need for excitement is tied up with feeling anxious about things. The two are, at a biological level, the same kind of sensation. The fact that we experience them as being different emotions is to do with how we interpret the nature of our environment around us. The environmental cues provide us some indication as to whether, in fact, we're afraid or whether we're enjoying ourselves. You see the ride itself, you see the reactions of people who have been on the ride, and all of these things can lead to a degree of anticipation as to how much danger there is.
Okay, folks, right now we have released the bar. Can you lead to the right, please? Exit to the right.
Danger, whether real or apparent, triggers a series of emotional and physiological changes. Within seconds, your nervous system declares an emergency. Your heart rate increases. Adrenaline is pumped through your body, and blood sugar is mobilized, giving you the energy needed to deal with the perceived threat. For nearly a century, the roller coaster has been the traditional amusement park ride, known for frightening and thrilling its passengers. And nowhere is that more apparent than in Blackpool.
Blackpool Pleasure Beach is a family firm that's been going on for about 100 years. Will be 100 years next year, in fact. So I grew up in the world of amusements and roller coasters and mad things like that. And you know, breakfast at home when I was a kid, that was the only thing we talked about, really. It's been a bit like being brought up in maybe a circus family.
The first ride that was built at Blackpool Pleasure Beach was a very old-fashioned roller coaster, the LA Thompson Scenic Railway. It's an American device, and it was really the most popular ride of the early years of this century. It became so popular that we got a name for our roller coaster. And from then on, we've just built more and more roller coasters. We now have as many roller coasters as any park in the world. We build new rides every year. We build a mega ride about every 4 years and smaller rides every year. We've done this for many, many years. And the trouble is, our public now expect it of us.
And now, Blackpool's traditional roller coaster supremacy is being challenged by the engineers and designers of the new theme park ride.
Until you're ready to run the ride,
Yeah.
Well, that's good news. The role that I play in designing rides is to take a concept right the way through, from an initial idea through to opening and beyond. In the late 60s, long before anyone had ever even heard of a theme park over here in Britain, I went to America, travelled around, learnt what roller coasters and log flumes and dark rides were, and decided that I was going to set myself up in Britain so that when the time was ripe, when the theme park industry was ready to blossom in Britain, I would have all the tools at my fingertips.
I can look at a ride and recognise who designed it just by the style and the type of ride. There are certain characteristics with every ride that will give me a clue as to who designed it. Nowadays, loops and corkscrews are pretty standard and everyone's done those. But when you hear things like heartline twist or the barrel roll or the bow tie element, these are new style elements designed to give an extra thrill that no one can really understand until they've been on it.
Devising a new way to terrify people isn't easy. John Wardley, a special effect technician on James Bond and horror films, has been a thrill ride designer for the last 15 years. One of his first creations was the Vampire at Jessington World Adventures.
The concept of a swing coaster, a suspended coaster where the thing is hanging from the track and freely swinging backwards and forwards, was something that had been done in America, and I thought that it could work quite satisfactorily in Britain. And then we thought, well, how do we theme it? So, well, birds. No, that didn't seem to be quite right. Flight. Well, planes and things. No, perhaps that wasn't right. And then we thought, well, bats. Vampire bats. Transylvania. And the whole thing came together from there.
A roller coaster is the biggest pull in a park. It is the ride that gets most people to come to visit the place. So if one park hears of another park getting a ride, they'll not try and sabotage it, but they'll come out with a new ride themselves, and you'll have a bit of a coaster war on. Now, at the end of the day, that's good for enthusiasts, because the more coasters, the better. But for the parks, with average rides costing over £10 million now, it proves a very expensive war, and one that not everyone can win.
If we didn't invest, it's a very competitive industry, the amusement park industry, and other parks in the UK and indeed in Europe would start building bigger rides than us. We're not going to allow that to happen.
As Blackpool's season came to an end in the winter of 1991, the Pleasure Beach staff began to devise its next piece of wicked twisted metal. A new offensive in the coaster war was about to begin.
About 4 years ago, I was travelling around the old parks of America, built in the 1900s and the 1920s, like Blackpool Pleasure Beach. We ended up at a park called Cedar Point in Ohio, and they had just built the first steel roller coaster, which was of a entirely new generation, a mega coaster. This was 200 feet high. And early one morning, before the ride was open to the public, I went on the ride, in the front seat actually, with members of their maintenance crews. And I went down that first step, and it was just a revelation. It was, in a way, sort of like a sort of vision on the road to Damascus, you might say. And I said, we've got to have a roller coaster like that at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. So I rang up the manufacturers, Aerodynamics of Salt Lake City, and said, right, we want a ride like that, but bigger for Blackpool. Alison Lomax, who are well-known structural engineers in Manchester, they designed all the substructure for the ride, which in our particular instance was very complicated.
The first task that we assisted them with was to carry out a complete topographical survey of the site at Blackpool Pleasure Beach to ensure that we had the data available to fit the ride down amongst the 100 or so attractions that already exist there. It's an extremely crowded site. Site investigation work had to be carried out along the ride route because the foundations at Blackpool are very difficult. The site is on the edge of the sea. There's a layer of peat immediately below the sand layer, which is covering the site, and peat is a very, very poor foundation material. Modelling the proposed route of the ride, both vertically and horizontally, was done by Aerodynamics into a computer system, and then carrying out trial analytical work for the dynamic performance of the ride to establish the speeds and the accelerations and to see if the route was satisfactory. Roller coasters work by one very simple principle, gravity. They're pulled up to the top of a hill by a chain and then released. From then on, they operate under their own weight, running down the track under gravity forces. There's no engines, and until the end of the ride, there's no brakes.
We will return to Thrills, Chills, and Spills on the Discovery Channel.
This program is brought to you in part by Six Flags Theme Park. So big, so fast, so close, so go.
It's summer, and I got a lot of things planned. I've got to go to Aunt Emma's, I've got to do a few chores, and I've got to help with my baby sister. But it's all worth it, because this, Six Flags! There's nothing like it anywhere! There's Batman, really cool coasters, Bugs and his buddies. Hey, summer's in summer, unless you go to Six Flags. Cool.
So big, so fast, so close.
So go.
If we price it smart, we'll sell it quick.
You know, millions can see it on the internet, but it only takes one to buy it.
It's a lot of house for the money.
If you're ready to sell your house, call today for a free answers book with answers to the most frequently asked questions about buying and selling. Call ERA for your copy if you're ready to sell. ERA Real Estate. We're selling houses.
I was at my daughter's for the weekend. I was just settling in for the night when the pain started. I knew I wouldn't get a good night's sleep, and I was worried about taking something about how I'd feel the next morning. Then Susie told me to try her Tylenol PM. Well, the pain stopped, I slept through the night, but Tylenol PM worked great. The next morning, I was up even before the kids, and I had so much energy, I wore them out.
Rest easy, it's Tylenol PM.
Hi, Bob Vila here with the Ramseys and the versatile Craftsman Easy Fix home repair kit from Sears. The Craftsman Easy Fix handles almost any repair with a simple-to-use applicator, 5 interchangeable nozzles, 20 Easy Fix repair sticks, a handy how-to guide, and a durable storage case. Looks like you're finding all kinds of new uses for the Craftsman Easy Fix, Jim.
Oh, yeah, Bob. We used Formula 100 to repair some damaged drywall. Formula 200 worked great for fixing stripped screw holes. With Formula 300, we repaired a loose countertop. And Formula 400 was perfect for interior caulking.
The Craftsman Easy Fix home repair kit is a tremendous value at only $29.99. And when you buy from Sears, your satisfaction's guaranteed or your money back. Call right now, and you'll also receive this non-stick work pad, a $4.99 value at no additional charge.
Get your Sears card or the credit card ready and call 1-800-968-9449. That's 1-800-968-9449. Or send check or money order for $29.99 plus shipping and handling to the address on your screen.
You're watching the Discovery Channel. Explore your world. Tons of steel, miles of cable, rising from the street, hovering over the water. Yeah, they're impressive, but the science that built them was amazing. Before the computer, find out how these engineering wonders came to be and why some have stood the test of time. Golden Gate Bridge and Disaster Proof, beginning Tuesday at 10 Eastern, 9 Central on the Discovery Channel.
Now is the perfect time to start weightlifting. The perfect time for SoloFlex. For a lot of good reasons. No other exercise is better for your overall health than weightlifting. The muscle you build on SoloFlex increases your metabolism to burn fat 24 hours a day. Weightlifting also boosts your immune system and increases your aerobic capacity. Weightlifting strengthens your bones and tendons. And nothing works better than weightlifting to improve your looks and energy. Now is the perfect time to call SoloFlex.
SoloFlex is on sale now. Call now for your free brochure.
We now return to Thrills, Chills, and Spills on the Discovery Channel.
G-forces, gravity forces are the critical part of a roller coaster ride. People sitting in a seat like this are experiencing a 1G downward force, and that's just occurring all over the surface of the Earth. But when you're on a roller coaster ride, you can force the car, and therefore the people inside the car, to experience either higher or lower G-forces by making use of something called centrifugal motion, putting the car around a tight bend when it's going at high speed.
And bends don't get tighter than this. Here at the School of Aviation, Farnborough. The centrifuge subjects pilots to extreme G-forces.
G-force is the inertial reaction of your body to the acceleration. Under positive G, everything is getting heavier, and the most important effect is the blood pooling in the veins in your legs. So you're losing your blood volume down into the lower part of your body. And at the other end of your body, head and eye level, your arterial blood pressure, supplying your brain and your eyes, is reducing as the G increases. Negative G is simply the opposite of positive G. The best example I can think of is if, on a roller coaster, you were to go over a humpback bridge, this sort of up and over sensation rising in your stomach, that's negative G, so reduced weight sensation.
When you go weightless, however, the interior of the body is not terribly well designed to cope with negative G-forces, and in fact the organs inside the rib cage are all hung from the top, so that when you are being forced into negative G situations, then many of the body organs start moving up inside the rib cage, which makes you feel pretty uncomfortable. That's the reason why you can cope with 3 or 4 G vertically downwards, but only 0 or little bits of minus G in the other direction.
Some aircrew in the Air Force would be described as G monsters. There are a few people around who actually like pulling as much G as they can, as often as possible. It tends to be more the maneuvers that they're using the G to perform than the actual G itself. A fast jet like the Hawk, which we fly here, can pull up anything up to 9.5 G for the purposes of our experiments. On a roller coaster, it'd be unusual to exceed 3.5 or 4 G. But the main difference is the length of time. In a fighter aircraft, you can sustain high levels of G for 20, 30 seconds, even longer. On a roller coaster, it's unusual for the designers to allow the G-force to last longer than about 4 or 5 seconds. If it lasts for more than about 4 or 5 seconds,
Stand by.
that's the length of time that your brain has a reserve supply of oxygen available to it for. So if you were to exceed 5 seconds worth, people would if the G was high enough, would lose their vision and their consciousness.
The coaster war is much like the space race, with rivals Blackpool and Alton Towers vying to be first. John Wardley is designing Alton Towers' new radical ride.
The way I set about designing a ride depends on the park. The first base that I work from is what will the local planners allow us to do, which means height. When you take people up high, it's dead easy to do a good first drop. That's the easy part. It's the part of a roller coaster that takes precious little designing. Certainly at Alton Towers, our local authority do not want us to produce great high structures that are a blot on the landscape. And unfortunately, the high point of the site was not sufficiently high from the existing lowest point of the site to give us enough energy. So I had to dig a hole, and it was a tremendous hole, and it amounted to a very, very large proportion of the total budget cost of the ride. One of the most important things in my job is to know just how far I take things. I am not a qualified engineer. I take a concept, and my technical knowledge allows me to assess whether an idea will be practical. But I then have to work with skilled mechanical, structural, electrical engineers to actually bring the ideas to fruition. There are very few specialists that are able to do the bigger, more adventurous types of ride. And one of them is a Swiss partnership, B&M. They build, if you like, the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis of the roller coaster world.
Is my name, and M means Mabillard, Claude Mabillard, who is my partner, and who is a mechanical engineer. So Claude is more looking on the mechanical part, on the coaches, on the lift, on the motors, on the brakes, and myself, I'm looking more on the structural part, layout, dynamic calculations, structural calculations. Every manufacturer wants to bring something new on the market. And what we do in our company, we a kind of brainstorming. Everybody comes with an idea. I think there's nothing new about brainstorming. Everybody comes with their idea, and sometimes there's a good idea. Maybe it happens once per year when we're lucky. At the beginning, it was only hills, going down slopes, going up again. We try to bring also to the market new elements, like the zero-G roll, where the people are weightless. Like when you're in the space, you see the astronauts which move upside down. We do the same thing on Earth, putting the people on a weightless condition and then playing with their body, if I can say. We created this new concept, which is called the inverted coaster. I would say an inverted coaster is no longer a coaster, it's a new experience. What we call the inverted coaster is a coaster where the people are suspended to a track. It must be very similar to flying in the air in a very old plane, where when the first people started to fly with only the two wings and a small motor, I think it should have been something very similar.
Just recap then on the timings. The Grand National has changed times. It's now 7 o'clock until 8 o'clock. And for those of you who were here last year, remember we boarded haphazardly running across the tracks.
350 enthusiasts have gathered here in Blackpool to sample the rides and discuss first drops, barrel rolls, and the next generation of thrill rides.
As part of the club, we produce a magazine, so we're always looking for what the latest coaster activity is in the country. And very, very fortunately for us here, every park has to submit its plans to the planning authorities. So we've got a member, Paul Burton, whose sole job, it appears, is just literally ring round the planning office. He's actually known at quite a few of the main park ones. And, you know, every week he'll call around the planning office for the major parks. And it was, about 2.5 years ago now, the Alton Towers one lit up, literally, very brightly, saying something big's happening at Alton Towers. So he rings me up on his mobile phone from the planning office, and he says, "You're not going to believe this, they're doing something huge at Alton Towers." So I said, obviously, just tell me all about it. And what he ended up doing was describing the layout to me over the phone. So there I was, just drawing the track. As he described it, you go up this far, you turn 180 degrees, you do blah, and I just drew the ride. And I described it back to him and said, that's about it. So at that point, I faxed it to John Wardley at Alton Towers, who actually designed the ride, and said, just put at the bottom, guess what?
John Wardley swore Justin Karvanovic and his Friends of the Coaster Club of Great Britain to secrecy. Meanwhile, in Blackpool, elements of the new mega coaster were becoming highly visible. It's difficult to hide the biggest, fastest, tallest roller coaster in the world. More than 2,000 tons of galvanized steel was needed to create a structure which would reach over 200 feet high and traverse more than 1 mile. This main support assembly was one of the heaviest structures ever to travel along British roads.
When I saw the ride being erected, it was just sheer excitement, really. You know, I suppose I'm a little boy at heart, and seeing a big set of Meccano actually coming together, I felt a real sense of pride.
We will return to Thrills, Chills, and Spills on the Discovery Channel.
When you really need a phone, this is the phone you need. The Fizz cellular phone from Philips Magnavox.
So you got an international calling plan with one flat rate, but...
Hello, we're not in right now. Please leave a message.
no one's home during the week to enjoy it.
Hey, sorry I missed you. Leave a message at the beep.
Here's a plan that makes more sense. Introducing a great new rate from Sprint Sense International on weekends. 10 cents a minute to the UK and Canada. Call now and get this incredible rate to the UK all weekend long.
Hello. Hi, Mom. Hello, dear. I'll run and get your father. Granny! Oh, wait. Say hello to the kids first. All right.
And get the same low 10-cent rate to Canada. Hello?
Hey, look who's home.
Of course, it's Sunday. The game's on.
Oh, yeah.
You'll also get Sprint's famous dime-a-minute domestic rate. Call now and find out about Sprint's great rates to other countries, too. Finally, incredible rates at convenient times for you and the people you call. For 10 cents a minute to the UK and Canada all weekend. Call now, 1-800-665-5849.
Taking the big risk and creating a masterpiece. But what happens when the gamble goes wrong? Engineering Disasters on Discover Magazine, Wednesday at 9 Eastern, 8 Central on the Discovery Channel. Next, the Hyena's back. Nature's Gangster returns on Wild Discovery. Then hang on and strap in. More wild rides continue on Thrills, Chills, and Spills. And meet the crazy people that build that amusement park terror on more Thrills, Chills, and Spills. Coming up on the Discovery Channel. We now return to Thrills, Chills, and Spills on the Discovery Channel.
Blackpool Pleasure Beach is located in northwestern England. It stands on an exposed site of wind-swept coast beside the Irish Sea. As a result, 1/5 of the mega ride construction cost will be spent on corrosion control to protect against salt spray, wind, and sand. One of the most unusual design features of the ride is its method of assembly. Instead of welding hundreds of small pieces of metal together, ironworkers bend complete sections into complex shapes to limit the problems of metal fatigue. More than 150 track sections were fitted together this way.
The steelwork is designed to look extremely slender, to add to the thrill of being carried up to the top of it, to make it a more exciting experience. If you're on the ride on a fairly windy day, you can feel the steelwork slightly moving. And because it doesn't particularly matter that it moves around during very high winds in the winter, it is indeed designed to move around, and it will move about more than 1/2 meter from side to side during very extreme wind conditions.
Alton Towers, unlike Blackpool, uses imagery as an integral part of their ride philosophy. In creating a make-believe world, they aim to add another dimension to the ride experience. Workers use polystyrene foam and gallons of red paint to build up the body of the sinister alien monster.
The name of the ride, that's incredibly important. It didn't just sort of land in our laps. There was an awful lot of thinking and going through thesauruses and dictionaries and encyclopedias. I can remember our marketing director here at Alton Towers said, well, I don't care what we call it, as long as it ends in "is." And I said, well, why should it end in "is"? And he said, well, that sort of sounds vaguely sinister or prehistoric.
And now, from the park that brought you, Katanga Canyon, the runaway mine train, and the haunted house. Comes the ultimate thrill ride sensation. A sensation to take you to the edge of your seat and the limit of your senses. Nemesis.
Well, Nemesis is rather bad news as far as I can make out. Nemesis is sort of the Greek sort of symbol almost of disaster, I always thought.
A roller coaster is not something that you can sort of send around the track slowly. It's rather like an aircraft. Either it flies or it doesn't. And you feel a bit like a test pilot.
Well, this is it. 2 years planning, and we're about to take the inaugural run on Nemesis. I think I know what to expect, but no one can really tell what's going to happen. We're in the hands of Sir Isaac Newton here. We're going up the lift. Once we get to the top, it's downhill all the way. Lovely view. No brakes, nothing. Once we're over the crown of this lift, we just got gravity on our side. It's an amazing sensation. There's nothing beneath your feet. You're just hanging in space. It's wow. Here we go. Right, we're picking up speed, and we're about to enter the first inversion, the first barrel roll coming up now. And we're over the top. Now we're picking up speed again, going faster and faster, down, and now we're in the 0G roll. Oh, that's amazing. Three seconds of zero gravity before coming down and into a vertical loop, up through the loop, through a tunnel. And now we haven't got any pause here. In theory, this should be the most exciting bit of the ride. Upside down into a tunnel, out of a tunnel, and wow, into the brakes. I invented this thing, and I'm supposed to be impervious to this kind of thing, but that was the most sensational thing I've ever done. Wow, way up to my expectations.
Welcome you on board the Pepsi Max Big One, the tallest, fastest, steepest roller coaster in the world. During the ride, you will reach up to 85 miles per hour and experience G-force pressure 3.5 times the Earth's natural force. And now, it's time to experience vertical reality on the Pepsi Max Big One.
The Roller Coaster Club of Great Britain is a wonderful gang of people, really, and they come here as an organisation once a year. They're all, and I'm sure they don't mind me saying so, slightly nutty, but I think people who are sort of really interested in minority things, and roller coasters are, in a way, minority things, always become a little nutty. But they're great, great characters. They travel the world to go on the world's best roller coasters. They have strong views on what they like about roller coasters, and they certainly tell us.
Yellow line until the automatic gate opens.
The Pepsi Max Big One is a pretty good ride. You get strapped into your seat, and then a few seconds later you're chugging up this 235-foot high chain lift, and all you can see is miles and miles around Lancashire countryside. And then all of a sudden the chain noise, the clicking noise, stops. You go from that 235-foot height to ground level in about 3 seconds. And then you're flying. There's a series of dips that you take all along the edge of the pleasure beach. And you're bouncing up and down, and then you come to a real high-speed turnaround where it does a complete U-turn. And then it does that so fast, and you see everyone lean to one side as the car turns around because of the force on them. And then on the return run, it crosses underneath the structure of the bigger drops. So it looks like you're going to have your head chopped off on the structure, but of course you're not. And then, unfortunately, you come up to a set of brakes which slow you down, ready for the station and the end of the ride. But no problem, just get back on and have another go.
During the ride, you will reach speeds of up to 85 miles per hour and experience G-force pressure 3.5 times the Earth's natural force. Time to experience vertical reality on the Pepsi Max Big One.
Oh my God. You have the best one. It's your feeling. You lost a bit.
return to Thrills, Chills, and Spills on the Discovery Channel.
Experience the sights and sounds of the lost world, Jurassic Park. The John Williams score in exclusive 3D Dinorama CD package. The Lost World, Jurassic Park. Available now on MCA compact discs. For a list of retail outlets, call 1-800-552-3175.
This is the hardest thing I've ever done. I mean, these people were like family to me. Remember I met Jeannie at the company picnic?
It was the best thing ever happened to you.
Yeah, taking the new job was a tough decision.
I miss you.
Deciding what to do with my 401k money was another. I didn't want to mess it up. I called T. Rowe Price.
Deciding how to roll over your 401k funds can be confusing. Everything from choosing different investment options to understanding the tax implications. Call T. Rowe Price at 1-800-341-5592. We can help.
You know, you told me about the mutual funds. Yeah, well, they sent me a rollover kit, you know. Took me through it step by step.
I made it easy for you.
Yeah, piece of cake.
By providing a full range of mutual fund options, we can help you create an investment plan that meets your needs.
It's going to be a good job.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
T. Rowe Price, helping people invest with confidence for over 50 years. For a free rollover kit and a prospectus, call 1-800-341-5592.
Death rides a gurney through these halls. To beat him requires skill, knowledge, and a little bit of luck. At Chicago's Cook County Hospital, death has more than met its match. Meet the people and enter the emergency room that inspired the hit television series. Go inside the real ER. Next Monday at 10 Eastern, 9 Central on the Discovery Channel. Explore your world.
I've spent my life studying water all around the world. Hello, I'm Dr. Sylvia Earle. These days, city water is in the news. That's why I recommend filtering your drinking water. But not all filters are the same. Compared to Brita, the Pure water filter is more effective. Pure removes a higher percentage of lead, up to 98%. Pure also removes the microorganisms Brita filters can't. It even shuts itself off when the filter needs changing. Pure uses a higher level of technology for great tasting water. So until your city gets one of these, get Pure.
For great tasting, healthier water, call 1-800-211-0579 now. You'll receive an informative brochure and the location of a retailer near you. And for a limited time, you'll also get a valuable rebate for up to $5 off the purchase of a Pure water filter. Call 1-800-211-0579 now. Remember, a higher level of clean is Pure.
We now return to Thrills, Chills, and Spills on the Discovery Channel.
Oh, here we go! Oh, my God. I can have a baby. Oh, my God!
We need to go to another park sometime this year. Now, choices will be, due to demand, either Drayton Manor Park, with the promise of backward riding again, on the stand-up, or Alton Towers, with dark ride on Nemesis. So, what I do is you give me a cheer when I say the name of the park, and then I'll decide where we go, anyway. Drayton Manor Park. That's two people going there. And Alton Towers. I love the shape of it. It looks really horrifying.
Really, really excited. Pure adrenaline rush. Bit nervous. Very nervous.
It is important that you know just how far to take the intimidation factor. Because if you make a ride look too intimidating, people won't ride it. The queue is a very useful way of weeding out the people that are going to eventually bottle out. The last thing that we want are people on the ride that just wish they were dead. It's a dreadful thing to be on a theme park ride and just hate every minute of it. And therefore we can actually use the queue by building up the anticipation, allowing them to see parts of the ride that they hadn't perhaps realized were there. So that the most difficult part of riding a roller coaster is making the decision to go into the entrance and join the queue for the first time. We can't afford people to bottle out in the station. When you're trying to load the train, the last thing you want are people trying to decide whether they're going to ride or not. We haven't got time to sort it out at that point.
I got up there, looked at it and thought, no, not for me. No, I was with my girlfriend. She's going on it, idiot. But no, I couldn't. I really couldn't. Some roller coasters I don't mind, but this is not a roller coaster.
Oh no.
Like there, I had to hold on to the guy next to me who I've never met in my entire life, but I'm very friendly with now, obviously.
I'm having a lot of trouble walking at the moment, so I'm pretty damn good.
When you first go in there and sit down, it's sort of like you can listen to the ride going on behind you, so it's like sitting outside the dentist listening to the drill, if you know what I mean. It's all about torture, it's all about a build-up.
Whenever we went around that first corner, I just screamed for the next 45 seconds.
The big one better. I give that 7 out of 10. I give the big one 10.
Better than sex. Just the most unbelievable thing you've ever experienced in your life.
We will return to Thrills, Chills, and Spills on the Discovery Channel.
It is said that good things come to those who wait. But in business, greater things come to those who refuse to. And for people like these, an incredible weapon has been created.
Velo from Philips Magnavox. Windows, email, internet. The power of a computer in the palm of your hand.
Hi, I'm Bob Vila with the Craftsman Auto Lock, the latest breakthrough from Sears Craftsman Tools. How's it going under there, Stan?
Well, Bob, I've been doing a lot better. I don't have to waste so much time adjusting these locking pliers.
Use these Craftsman Auto Lock locking pliers. They size themselves and lock tight with just one squeeze. Set the top jaw in place, squeeze the handles, and Auto Lock locks tight automatically. There's no screw adjustment for sizing, no on-again, off-again refitting. It's all done automatically. Hey, it looks like the whole family's discovered Auto Lock.
Yeah, it locks onto these rusted nuts and loosens it with one twist.
And remember, when you buy from Sears, your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. So don't wait. Call now to order your Craftsman Auto Lock pliers.
Have your Sears card or the credit card ready and call 1-800-693-8811. That's 1-800-693-8811. Or send your check or money order for only $19.99 plus shipping and handling to the address on your screen. Call right now.
Now Qantas invites you to see Sydney and the outback of Australia for just $1,719 round trip, including hotel.
So why don't you pop on down?
You'll see it all, from Sydney and the beaches of New South Wales to the Northern Territory, homeland of Aboriginal culture. Just call 800-78-KOALA or your travel agent for more on this and other Qantas collection packages. Call now and you'll also get 2 extra nights in Ayers Rock free.
Australia's a different world, but believe me, it's closer than you think.
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Sylvia.
Nice scrubs, snorkel boy.
Fresh coffee, Steve.
Marhabya, snorkel boy.
Ah, the wonders of science.
TLC, adventures for your mind. Taking the big risk and creating a masterpiece. But what happens when the gamble goes wrong? Engineering Disasters on Discover Magazine, Wednesday at 9 Eastern, 8 Central on the Discovery Channel. Next, the hyena's back. Nature's gangster returns on Wild Discovery. Then hang on and strap in. More wild rides continue on Thrills, Chills, and Spills. And meet the crazy people that build that amusement park terror on more Thrills, Chills, and Spills. Coming up on the Discovery Channel. We now return to Thrills, Chills, and Spills on the Discovery Channel.
When you come off the ride again, we want you to feel good. We want you to feel as if you've achieved something. We want you to feel as if it was not an unpleasant experience, but at the same time it was an intense, exhilarating experience.
I feel very buzzy, but most of all I feel really glad that I did it, because you see it and you think, that's very, very scary. I could never do that. I couldn't do that at all. And then you do it, and when you get off it, you think, yeah, I did it, and it was okay. And there's something inside you, you feel sort of quite proud of yourself. You think, yeah, I made myself do that, and I sort of, I'm glad I did.
In research that psychologists have done into people's thrill-seeking behavior, they found that there are people who they would classify as high sensation seekers and people who they would say were low sensation seekers. And these are people who would not only score differently on certain clinically developed psychological tests, but who also differ from one another in terms of their biological makeup, in terms of their nervous systems characteristics and their ability to tolerate extreme forms of stimulation. For the thrill seekers, it's almost like a drug.
I can still feel the adrenaline. It's actually tingling my fingers. It was superb. It didn't go upside down enough for me, though. A few more would have done me nice.
And after a while, the ride will lose its novelty, lose its thrill-seeking effect.
and they will want perhaps a more extreme form of ride and a new form of excitement to experience.
For years, the 200-foot drop has been the roller coaster enthusiast's magic figure. Now that Blackpool has broken that barrier, the terror technicians are dreaming of new ways to frighten their riders.
We don't want our competitors to know what we're going to build. Most people know that the next major ride at Blackpool Pleasure Beach is going to be the biggest dark ride in the world. Dark ride being the generic term for an indoor ride in the dark. But they don't know what it is, and we're not going to tell them. Let's have a look at the old plans.
This is actually the first of the drafts of the layout of the building.
Well, as long as it means the drop's steep enough to give them absolute hell, they'll be all right, won't it? And it will definitely fit the site, will it, Keith?
It will fit the site, and it's taking over the whole of the swamp buggy and the whole of the...
You promise that? You're not going to get it wrong on me, are you?
100% correct, yes.
Oh, so this time it will definitely fit?
It will fit. There is no problem with that.
They need more extreme forms of thrill and excitement all the time. But the real physical dangers may reach a point in order to provide the thrill to the most extreme thrill seekers that are ethically, if you like, beyond what would be allowable.
In the future, designers of roller coasters couldn't really increase the G-force much more than they have already, unless they introduced measures to protect the passengers, perhaps by reclining the seats, or perhaps even going to the extreme measures of giving them anti-G suits. I don't think that would wear with the public.
Not to be outdone by Blackpool, the management team at Alton Towers is holding secret meetings to plan a successor to Nemesis. The pressure from the thrill seekers and the competition remains intense. Approaching the limits in safety, human endurance, and height restrictions on the site, building a simulated virtual reality roller coaster ride must be high on Alton Towers' list of options. Simulation may be their next secret weapon in the coaster wars.
I mean, this whole new development is basically a refurbishment and relaunch of Fantasy World, which at the moment I think is a little pinprick in our balloon of magic. But I think it's more than just a secret weapon, or it's more than just a black hole. It's going to be about total entertainment in that area.
New theme, new style.
Up to now in the theme park business, everyone has said, oh, well, of course, in America they've got this, and in America they've got that. Well, the fact is that Secret Weapon for the first time is a ride that has never been done before.
It's unique to us.
And it's unique to us, yes.
There's a lot of talk that virtual reality rides will replace roller coasters, but never in a million years. I've ridden every type of virtual reality roller coaster ride because being in my position in the club, I get invited to do these things. You cannot replace the feelings that you get being 200 feet in the air, doing 80 miles an hour with the wind in your face, no matter what they try and throw at you.
I guess that people are going to, in fact, rebel away from this sanitised armchair kind of entertainment and will hanker more for genuine height, genuine drops, the wind in your face and this sort of thing, which I don't believe virtual reality will ever be able to give. But maybe in 20 years' time I'll be eating my words.
Coming up Wednesday on Discover Magazine, engineers and scientists are solving construction flaws and mistakes that may have saved lives. From the Titanic to the everyday fire, engineering disasters. This week on Discover Magazine. The wildest coasters, the newest motion simulators, the biggest splash around. It's a real stream. Don't miss thrills, chills, and spills. Coming up next on the Discovery Channel. Explore your world.
Welcome to the Funhouse.
Funhouse is a place that turns your world inside out and upside down.
A funhouse is a place where you go to have a life-threatening experience that you can live through and have fun.
Terror, what the unknown may bring to us.
I think it's a fantasy world, an experience that you may not find anywhere else.
It is darkness, death, skeletons, evilness. A funhouse is a world within a world.
Funhouse is a place where you have some fun.
For nearly 100 years, we've been invited to scream in terror and laugh with relief to the thrills and spills of funhouses of every size and description. But whether they use hand-painted cardboard cutouts or state-of-the-art technology like today's multi-million-dollar attractions, every funhouse is designed to play on the same basic human emotion: fear.
People like to safely explore fear. They want to be scared to death, but they want to know at the very end of it they're going to come out of it okay. And you know that when you ride a ride at an amusement park, you're going to come out the other end and you're going to be fine. So why not push your fears right to the limit?
Fear is such a visceral response. You know, you feel it in your body entirely. The hairs raise on the back of your neck. You know, your heart races. Fear is a way of feeling more alive than you do in everyday reality.
It's kind of like a survival journey. Images of death, despair, destruction, of fright are being thrown at you, but you survive it. It's a very positive experience in the end because you have escaped that terror.
But the funhouse's formula for success isn't only based on fear.
A funhouse that's one awful shock after another would be no fun at all. You have to have a bit of humor in it, which takes the edge off, you know, and makes you feel better for a while. Whereas if it were just one kind of sledgehammer blow after another, it would be an awful experience and no one would ever go back.
But every year, millions of people do go back to places like Universal Studios theme parks. Here, they can experience the excitement of multi-million-dollar attractions like Back to the Future, the ride, Jurassic Park, the ride, and Terminator 2 3D.
Hey, Puckadad.
But few of these thrill-seeking visitors know that these big-budget, high-tech rides owe their success to a crude but effective amusement ride from the turn of the century. A Trip to the Moon, which debuted at the 1901 Pan American Expo and inspired George Méliès's classic silent film, used a simple rocking mechanism to convince riders that they had traveled through space and landed on the moon.
And the rocket would take off, and people would faint because they thought it was so real. And then you get out of the rocket ship and tour the moon with special moon guides, and you would get a souvenir piece of cheese and return to the Earth. It sounds very funny and ridiculous, but that's the beginning of it all. And it was so popular that they moved the whole thing to Coney Island.
And with that, a new form of entertainment was launched, the amusement park. And at the center of it all, the Funhouse. Here, rides like the spinning barrel, the shifting staircase, and the human pool table created a world which offered visitors a brief escape from the repression of Victorian society.
You'd slide down a chute, or you'd walk on a floor that would disappear out from under you, or you'd have a gust of air shooting up from below. And I think their appeal had to do with they're just being so different and so unexpected, so wild, things that you just don't experience in your everyday life.
See, in some of the old fun houses, they used to have cattle prods, and somebody used to come up and stick you with an electric cattle prod. And I'm saying in the 1990s, having somebody come up with an electric cattle prod and stick it on your hip or your rear end or whatever, I think you're looking at a lawsuit is what you're looking at.
A lot of fun houses ended in a sort of almost auditorium where people then could sit and watch everyone else have to go through the same ordeal that they themselves had just gone through. It's the same appeal that Candid Camera and America's Funniest Home Videos, you know, people caught in the act of being themselves.
One of the last of these early fun houses still operating today can be found at Bushkill Amusement Park in Easton, Pennsylvania. Here, kids can climb and romp on the same rides that once thrilled their great-grandparents.
This is the Funhouse at Bushkill Park, one of the oldest of our buildings, in fact, the oldest attraction at Bushkill Park that's still running. Welcome. Let's go inside and see what kind of fun we have. This is the Barrel of Fun. There aren't many of these left. Nowhere that I know about. Somebody could write in and tell us where they have another Barrel of Fun. This is the way to the Hall of Mirrors upstairs. Safe trip. Well, I thought these were fixed, but I'll leave a note for tomorrow. Here in the Hall of Mirrors, we offer our guests and ourselves a kind of different picture of ourselves. The Funhouse has a great crash pad. I missed.
By the 1920s, the number of amusement parks and fun houses in the U.S. soared to record numbers.
It was a crazy era. It was the Roaring 20s, and those people would try anything. And fun houses were certainly a part of it.
To meet the demands of a daredevil public, a new element was added to the mix: darkness.
When you're in your house at night and it's completely dark, even though it's a familiar environment, just the darkness makes it unfamiliar. And the Funhouse just sort of capitalizes on that uneasiness of just complete ignorance. Not knowing where you're going is the most frightening of all.
For nearly 100 years, Kennywood Amusement Park outside Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, has been a favorite summertime escape for millions of local residents. While dozens of Noah's Arks were once found across the country, today, Kennywood's Noah's Ark is the last surviving of these walk-through fun houses in the United States. Although it still uses the original motor and pulley system to rock the hull, several of the early funhouse effects have been updated in order to appeal to today's more sophisticated audiences.
Noah is my name.
This is the captain. First, it's Noah. This is also part of the old technology. Simple animation. Animals that move back and forth. Noah turning the wheel back and forth.
Noah is my name.
This is one of the great old tricks. They're called the shaker boards. They don't really shake as much as they go back and forth. But a Noah's Ark wouldn't be Noah's Ark without the shaker boards.
The Ark's original revolving barrel has been transformed into a low-tech, high-seas optical illusion.
We're not moving, but our eyes and our brain and everything inside says we are moving because obviously this big room can't move. Well, it can in a walk-through dark ride.
Among other recent additions, the Elevator of Doom, which drops passengers down to the Perils Room. Here, visitors must endure a terrifying ordeal on their way to the walkthrough's wet and wild finale.
Here we are at the flooding chamber. This is the final scene, and it's the most exciting. And it turned out to be the most expensive. You can see some of the things starting to happen. We've got water gushing. We've got walls caving in. There's 10,000 gallons of water on the roof. Oh my God, I hope I can get out of here.
I think it's very important that Kennywood was able to preserve Noah's Ark because it's such a historic ride. Rather than tear it down, they improved it a little bit, and it's, you know, now it's intact for many future generations.
Noah is my name.
Next, we take a terrifying ride on the dark side and drop in on some of today's scariest and most thrilling Funhouse attractions.
This program is brought to you in part by Six Flags Theme Park. So big, so fast, so close, so go.
Your kids will tell you the best idea for family fun is right under your nose. Six Flags Theme Parks, bigger than Disneyland and totally cool. And with Six Flags Theme Parks coast to coast, great family fun is closer than you think. So take a hint before it's too late. Six Flags Theme Parks.
So big, so fast, so close.
So go.
Experience the sights and sounds of the lost world, Jurassic Park. The John Williams score in exclusive 3D Dinorama CD package. The Lost World, Jurassic Park. Available now on MCA compact discs. For a list of retail outlets, call 1-800-552-3175.
When you really need a phone, this is the phone you need. The Fizz Cellular phone from Philips Magnavox.
At Zurich Direct, there are no surprises. You call us and we give you a free, no-obligation quote on high-quality term life insurance.
Hi, thank you for calling Zurich Direct.
And these rates are up to 70% less than what some other insurers charge.
Well, Mr. Madden, you're 42 in good health and you don't smoke? That's great. A 10-year, $250,000 policy is just $32 a month, and your rate is guaranteed.
I think everyone should call Zurich Direct. But then again, I'm probably a little partial.
Zurich Direct, a unit of Zurich Kemper Life. You're watching the Discovery Channel. Explore your world. From the Discovery Channel and ABC News, Discovery News Break.
Good evening. A new study of the DNA of chimpanzees shows that instead of just mating within their own social group, the females also sneak away to mate with as many different males as possible. Researchers believe this behavior has evolved to expose the females to a wider gene pool. And the parasite Cyclospora, blamed for sickening 1,000 people last year from imported raspberries, has struck again in 5 states. That's Discovery News Break.
I've spent my life studying water all around the world. Hello, I'm Dr. Sylvia Earle. These days, city water is in the news. That's why I recommend filtering your drinking water. But not all filters are the same. Compared to Brita, the Pure water filter is more effective. Pure removes a higher percentage of lead, up to 98%. Pure also removes the microorganisms Brita filters can't. It even shuts itself off when the filter needs changing. Pure uses a higher level of technology for great tasting water. So until your city gets one of these, get Pure.
For great tasting, healthier water, call 1-800-211-0579 now. You'll receive an informative brochure and the location of a retailer near you. And for a limited time, you'll also get a valuable rebate for up to $5 off the purchase of a Pure water filter. Call 1-800-211-0579 now. Remember, a higher level of clean is Pure.
Ever since man cowered in his cave, night has symbolized danger, a mysterious void where evil lurks. By playing on this hardwired fear of the dark and combining frightening images with what was then state-of-the-art technology, the Funhouse of the 20s and 30s created a new sensation, the dark ride.
I think dark rides serve as a lampoon of death. It's a cartoon of all our worst fears. It's a way of dealing with it by sort of cheapening the subject into just entertainment shock value. So it's a way of not really dealing with the reality of death.
For most of its 90 years, Pennsylvania's Bushkill Park has operated the Haunted Pretzel. To ride this working antique
is it scary?
is to take a journey through the history of dark rides.
The Haunted Pretzel makes great use of darkness. You just do not know where you're going. You're just absolutely turning this way, and that disorientation is never better achieved than in the Haunted Pretzel.
I'm Neil Fainall, Bushkill Park. Right now I'm in the Haunted Pretzel at Bushkill Park, one of the oldest haunted dark rides of its kind in the country. I'd like to show you what makes it so spooky. As you can see, there's nothing really in here. The darkness creates its own walls. And as you ride through this ride, each bend that you go around, you feel something's going to jump out and scare you. You don't know what's going to happen next. Is it going to be a bat that falls out of the ceiling? Or is it going to be a monster? This is one of the original pretzel display pieces. This is Spider-Woman, and she has spun a web back here, and this unsuspecting child is about to be entrapped in the web, and Spider-Woman would then be eating her. People love to see things like this. They don't want to be the child that's going to be eaten by the Spider-Woman, but people enjoyed those sights 60, 70 years ago, just like they do today. This is a girl that has just been decapitated with the sword here, and right now they're getting ready to scalp her. You can see the vase of blood, which is right here, and they save that for whatever they do with it. This is Dead Dan, and even though he's a dead guy in a casket, I find it to be kind of funny because as the car's going by, Dan sits up. Good night, Dan.
One of the first rides visitors to Pittsburgh's Kennywood Amusement Park encounter is the Old Mill. Built in 1901, this water-powered variation of the traditional dark ride, better known as the Tunnel of Love, still offers young sweethearts a chance to steal a first kiss.
Kennywood and amusement parks in general are places where I think you do some of the first
wandering away from your parents and hanging out with your friends. And so you're creating your own new world, and rides like this help do it. People know that you're going to go into the dark, and it's certainly at various points in there, no one can see what you're doing. And so it's a place for cuddling and to sort of make out canoodle. You're a little bit nervous about getting on the old mill with the girl the first time because you might end up getting slapped, but you also might end up getting, you know, a snuggle.
In addition to smooching and canoodling, the slower nature of these water-powered rides gave designers the chance to create more elaborate and detailed scenes. Displays told simple stories while borrowing themes and images from the cheapy horror movies of the time.
The dark ride and the film have a very intimate, intertwined relationship. And so when you see really schlock-filled movies from the 50s, dark rides really were operating at the same level of sophistication. Very kitschy, and really older dark rides today, the value for them is as nostalgic pieces and as historical pieces.
And as the popular culture of America changed, so did the Funhouse. Kennywood's Le Cachot, that's French for the dungeon, uses horror film imagery and blacklight technology to create a spooky day-glow tribute to the psychedelic 60s.
Uh-oh, there goes a buzzard by, and the bats, for people who hate bats, they're over our head right now. Ah, bats! A little devil, a little creepy devil looking at you. Oh, it's the chain lady there. Oh, laser light, oh, the light. There we go. We're banging out only one more set of doors. Ah, we're back in civilization again.
By the 1970s, the golden age of funhouses had long ago ended. Liability lawsuits, skyrocketing insurance costs, and an increasingly sophisticated public conspired to all but wipe out this unique form of entertainment. Hundreds of funhouses throughout the country were torn down or converted into other types of attractions. But a handful managed to buck the trend. The haunted house at Knoebel's Amusement Resort in Ellisburg, Pennsylvania, is considered by many to be the best of the traditional dark rides operating today.
At Knoebel's haunted house, everything's going on. It's total confusion and chaos the whole time you're in there. Things are popping out at you from both sides of the little car.
Oh, that scared me.
It's just a visual overload.
Knoebel's Haunted House, in my opinion, is the absolute best dark ride in America.
My hair messed up.
It uses lots of darkness very effectively. And it's filled with gimmicks and gizmos at every turn. It's so close and intimate. You really feel like your personal space is invaded.
Ironically, the extinction of traditional funhouses marked a new beginning for dark rides. And for the 185-acre virtual funhouse in Anaheim, California, known as Disneyland.
Disney might not have had the original idea for the funhouse, but he took it to a whole different level.
Next, we explore the dark side of the happiest place on Earth and get an eye-popping look at the funhouse of the future.
On June 6th, the federal government will issue the following summer travel advisory. buckle up.
We're going to Disneyland.
Yeehaw! This summer.
What are you going to do? I'm going to skip the day.
It's the pro.
Let's do it.
Versus the con.
Strap in, ladies. Going for a night out in Vegas.
From Jerry Bruckheimer, the producer of The Rock. Con Air, directed by Simon West.
I'm too old for this shit.
Rated R.
This is the hardest thing I've ever done. I mean, these people were like family to me. Remember I met Jeannie at the company picnic?
It was the best thing that ever happened to you.
Yeah, taking the new job was a tough decision.
I miss you.
Deciding what to do with my 401k money was another. I didn't want to mess it up. I called T. Rowe Price.
Deciding how to roll over your 401k funds can be confusing. Everything from choosing different investment options to understanding the tax implications. Call T. Rowe Price at 1-800-341-5592. We can help.
You know, you told me about the mutual funds.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, they sent me a rollover kit, you know. Took me through it step by step.
Well, made it easy for you.
Yeah, piece of cake.
By providing a full range of mutual fund options, we can help you create an investment plan that meets your needs.
It's going to be a good job.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
T. Rowe Price, helping people invest with confidence for over 50 years. For a free rollover kit and a prospectus, call 1-800-341-5592.
Waiting for the fish to bite, you think about how smart your daughter has gotten and how much your son is starting to look like you, and you wonder why you never noticed until now. But you might as well head back to camp. The fish seem to be as relaxed as you are. Rediscover your family while you discover America. Recreation vehicles. Wherever you go, you're always at home. Call today for a free video or visit an RV dealer near you.
Yeah, they're impressive, but the science used to build them was amazing. Find out how these engineering wonders came to be. Golden Gate Bridge and Disaster Proof. Beginning Tuesday at 10 Eastern, 9 Central on the Discovery Channel. Coming up next, strap into some of the world's most hair-raising thrill rides. Amusement parks, the pursuit of fun. As thrills, chills, and spills continues next on the Discovery Channel. Explore your world.
Behind these walls at Walt Disney World's Disney MGM Studios in Orlando, Florida, await the horrific pleasures of the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Once guests check into this haunted attraction, they board an elevator from another dimension and are welcomed by the hotel's ghostly inhabitants.
It's eerie, it's otherworldly. You have the fear that you might be sucked into this hotel and never be able to escape. It just tickles your terror bone.
The rickety old service elevator lifts riders 13 unlucky stories to the hotel's roof, where they will meet their ghastly fate.
I don't think anybody in their right mind would step on an elevator they knew was going to crash. But I think people always have wondered what would happen if the elevator they were riding in suddenly broke and they went flying down to the basement. Now you can feel what that would feel like.
The Tower of Terror may be the latest of Disney's Funhouse attractions, but its spine-tingling thrills follow an old dark ride tradition that began with Disneyland's opening on July 17th, 1955.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
To me, the Funhouse is perfect for Walt Disney. He's the master of dark. You go through all these movies, and Snow White, Pinocchio, it almost always dealt with the dark. So it was perfect for him.
Well, have a look around.
Disney was the first creator of dark rides, which really created a film experience. They went from being sort of plotless and meandering spectacles to almost a coherent storyline. So in a sense, they became as powerful and as sophisticated as film technology and special effects had become.
To achieve this new level of sophistication, Disneyland engineers created a new form of technology: audio animatronics. Lifelike robots that added a touch of realism to the Funhouse experience.
Now, this is a Caribbean town at the period, and you get down here and look through that little ring, you get the view that the audience gets.
One of the most complex of these early dark rides is Pirates of the Caribbean, the last attraction to be personally supervised by Walt Disney.
Now here, you see the pirates are dunking the mayor into the well, trying to force him to reveal the hiding places of the town treasure.
Yo-ho, yo-ho, a pirate's life for me.
This modern rendition of the water ride uses 119 animated figures in more than a dozen separate scenes.
Write your colors, you brazen witch. No need to expose your superstructure.
Although Disneyland has recently updated some of the scenes, the ride itself has changed very little since it opened in 1967.
Yo-ho, 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 a pirate's life for me.
It was the birth of what is now called in the industry the themed experience. Sights and sounds totally choreographed and everything in sync to create an experience for the rider.
There were huge props, huge scenery pieces, and there was a lot of humor, a lot of really good kind of visual humor in it, and it just told the story on a level nobody had ever seen before. It was really revolutionary for its time, and it's still an incredibly popular ride because it was so well thought out that it still works.
Disney's Haunted Mansion, which opened in 1969 at Disneyland and was later reproduced at Walt Disney World in Orlando, boasts an incredible 999 separate special effects and illusions.
Some of them were effects that have been around for a long time. Some of them were state-of-the-art at that time, but it combined, again, the storyline, the music, the whole picture, the whole experience was very sophisticated and just wowed everybody.
But wowing everybody was no easy task. More than 12 years in the making, the Haunted Mansion underwent countless design and construction revisions before it finally opened its creaking doors to the public.
Is this haunted room actually stretching?
Disney originally thought that he would have the Haunted Mansion be a walkthrough. But here at Disneyland, where we have over 2,000 people coming through here in a day, he conjured up something even more diabolical. It's called a doom buggy. We're now next to what we call a doom buggy. This is a Walt Disney Imagineering invention called the Omnimover. There are 131 doom buggies moving along on this track endlessly from early morning to late at night. That gets us about 2,400 people an hour on this ride.
Wizards and witches from regions
We're about to have a seance here with Madame Leota, a disembodied head sitting inside a crystal ball. One of the things that makes this continually popular is people ride it over and over again trying to figure it out. And we try to avoid giving away our illusions, but I will tell you we've been asked more than one time about how this is done, and it's not a hologram.
Give us a hint by ringing a bell.
Here we are in the ballroom, and it looks like we're just in time for a party. Now we're going to reveal one of our most outstanding effects here, how we do the mystic ghosts that you see. You know how we do it? We use real ghosts. Here we are at my favorite part. Oh, excuse me there. You know, one of the things that's really important in a ride like the Haunted Mansion is humor. And what ride really lets you take one of the residents home?
Another Funhouse-style ride recently added to Disneyland's Toontown is Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin. This zany ride puts a modern twist on the classic Funhouse pretzel ride.
Danger, danger, warning.
This ride grew out of
really existing technologies. So even though we wanted to do something new and cutting edge, we didn't want to reinvent the wheel. So this really is a hybrid of existing technologies in the park. We physically went to one of our existing dark rides, which is a ride vehicle that runs along on a bus bar, and we looked at the teacups, which is just on a little post and spins around. So we took a teacup one night off the teacup ride, put it on Pinocchio, and went through the ride to see how these two technologies would work together. And it was a marriage made in heaven. Or actually made in Disneyland.
Hey, it's Joe here inside Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin, and we just broke into a china shop that's run by a bull. A bull in a china shop. You get it? That's the kind of craziness that's happening here. Now, the last place you want to be if you're attuned is in a power plant. So, of course, where are we going to throw you? Inside this wild power plant. And you'll notice all this crazy neon and stuff. This is the first time we've ever tried to mix incandescent light with black light. We're using the oldest gag in the book. You can see his insides as he gets electrocuted. But now you, the guests, get blown up. We're getting blown up and heading into my favorite scene here, cartoon limbo. Now, how many times have you seen a cartoon character get hit on the head and you see the birdies fly over him? There you go. But just when you think there's no getting out, Roger Rabbit, the very star of our movie, saves the day. There's Roger. Thank you, Roger. We love you, Roger. And we're home safe. My goodness. I can feel my heart pounding, but we made it through alive.
Another recent Disneyland addition is the Indiana Jones Adventure. This attraction, based on the hit films, is the culmination of nearly 100 years of Funhouse ride design and technology.
The Indiana Jones Adventure is an amazing attempt to take you through almost an entire feature film. It's what theme park designers are always trying to get at. You get to be on the adventure Jeep, you get to be with Indiana Jones, you get to go through all these adventures, and I think they really pulled it off pretty well.
Pulling off this multi-million-dollar Funhouse took more than 7 years. Over 168,000 square feet of hand-carved surfaces and 55 hand-painted murals were created and then aged. Disney Imagineers also created hundreds of separate special effects and an entirely new computer-controlled ride system.
Unlike the movies, we have to make these effects play real for our guests every 18 seconds. And I think that we've really very successfully created an environment where everything looks like it's falling apart. There's explosions, there's beams coming out of the eye, there's things popping out at you from all over the place.
In terms of Disneyland, it's the most thrilling ride in the park, that's for sure. But also for those ride aficionados that have been going to parks and parks and parks, there isn't anything ever that's been created that's like this. This is not a roller coaster. It's not a simulated movie. It's a very unique experience.
Next, we blast into a new era of dark rides and see how high-tech special effects are reshaping the modern Funhouse.
Precision engineering of the future, Fortune. Higher quality and reliability than we've previously seen in Jaguars, car and driver.
That love of the product has come through, though, and now that we're able to give a much higher quality than they've ever seen before.
It is that introduction of world-class componentry and world-class production processes that have made the change so dramatic.
I think making this company work and this car work has become such a passion in our lives. It's become an obsession.
For your complimentary video detailing the improvements that have placed Jaguar's quality among the best, call 1-800-558-9496. See how the automobile that defines elegance has redefined excellence.
So you got an international calling plan with one flat rate.
but
Hello, we're not in right now. Please leave a message.
no one's home during the week to enjoy it.
Hey, sorry I missed you. Leave a message at the beep.
Here's a plan that makes more sense. Introducing a great new rate from Sprint Sense International on weekends. 10 cents a minute to the UK and Canada. Call now and get this incredible rate to the UK all weekend long.
Hello. Hi, Mom. Hello, dear. I'll run and get your father.
Granny! Oh, wait, say hello to the kids first.
All right.
And get the same low 10-cent rate to Canada.
Hello?
Hey, look who's home.
Of course, it's Sunday. The game's on.
Oh, yeah.
You'll also get Sprint's famous dime-a-minute domestic rate. Call now and find out about Sprint's great rates to other countries, too. Finally, incredible rates at convenient times for you and the people you call. For 10 cents a minute to the UK and Canada all weekend. Call now, 1-800-665-5849.
The wildest coasters, the newest motion simulators, the biggest splash around. It's a real scream. Don't miss thrills, chills, and spills. Continues tomorrow at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Explore your world. Yeah, they're impressive, but the science used to build them was amazing. Find out how these engineering wonders came to be. Golden Gate Bridge and disaster proof. Beginning Tuesday at 10 Eastern, 9 Central on the Discovery Channel.
The Brinks Lullaby. It's only one note, but at 2:30 in the morning, it's the sweetest sound a family will ever hear.
In a world you can't always trust, there's one name you can. For over 135 years, Brinks has been protecting people and their valuables around the world without the loss of one single dollar. Now, this same trusted name can protect your home. The Brinks Home Security System with 24-hour monitoring. Call right now and Brinks will install its standard system for an unbelievably low price of under $100. Under $100. Call now to find out exactly how little it will cost you. Call this number today. Brinks, we're only in one business, and that business is protecting you. When it comes to the finest in home security, there's only one brand. There's only one Brinks.
"40 years before Walt Disney transformed an orange grove into the happiest place on earth, silent movie producer Carl Laemmle founded the Universal Motion Picture Manufacturing Company. Today, it is known simply as Universal Studios Hollywood. Taking a cue from Disney's success, Universal began to create theme parks built around Funhouse rides based on their hit films. In the early 1990s, they combined cutting-edge, motion-based simulator technology with classic Funhouse elements to create the breakthrough attraction, Back to the Future, the ride.
Not only did you sit in a vehicle that resembled what was in the movie, but the actual movie itself was extremely realistic. It was sort of the first attraction to come along to put everything really together and bring it home that you were really experiencing Back to the Future.
Directed by special effects wizard Douglas Trumbull, considered by many the father of motion simulator technology, Back to the Future, the ride set the hallmark for the motion-based attractions that followed. Trumbull combined 70mm film imagery and computer-controlled hydraulics to create an entirely new Funhouse experience.
The accuracy of delivery is very important. The image has to be very sharp and very close to the kind of visual field that we see in reality. And by wrapping the image all around you, you can really immerse people in that sort of sensory experience. You must also deliver a sound field that wraps around you as well and corresponds to that image. The physical motion must also be perfectly synchronized with what you see, or it can be nauseating, annoying. It can be a very unpleasant experience if it's not done really well.
After Back to the Future, Trumbull formed a creative partnership with the IMAX Corporation. They used a miniature Funhouse set, stop-motion animation, and puppets to create Funhouse Express.
Where's my ride operator?
The story behind this 4-minute attraction centers on Jimmy, the Funhouse ride operator, and his mean boss.
Enjoy yourself! Hey, what are you doing?
Their conflict plunges riders into a wild and wacky world.
A good motion-based simulation experience is one where a great storyteller has a great story to tell that takes you from A to B to C. You're placed in a wonderful immersive environment, you go on an impossible journey, and you survive. A bad motion-based simulation experience is one where there is the idea that the motion-based experience is so wonderful, all we need to do is that. Nobody cares about the technology. What people care about is having a great experience they can't have anywhere else.
Building on the success of Funhouse Express, the IMAX production team took to the streets of San Francisco for their next project. Uh-oh. Crescendo. This zany, surprise-filled, motion-based ride follows the antics of a maniac mobile pianist.
We wanted to try to create a contemporary ride simulation experience that would really be like the best of the Marx Brothers or Laurel and Hardy or Charlie Chaplin. And we tried to get that kind of delightful, fun, off-the-wall, crazy, physical stunt gag kind of feeling in a live-action ride. And we also wanted to experiment with our development of this device called a motion microphone, which is a set of accelerometers that actually record the physical motion that the camera experiences so that we could play those recordings into the hydraulic system and exactly feel what was felt during the photography of those scenes. We're entering an area where our dreams are becoming reality. At least the dreams of an imaginative filmmaker can become almost a reality experience for millions of other people.
Next, we explore new worlds as Steven Spielberg's cinematic visions come to life in big-budget dark rides. And we'll discover what the future holds for the Funhouse of tomorrow.
When you really need a phone, this is the phone you need. The Fizz Cellular Phone from Philips Magnavox.
This is the hardest thing I've ever done. I mean, these people were like family to me. Remember I met Jeannie at the company picnic?
Ah, it was the best thing that ever happened to you.
Yeah, taking the new job was a tough decision.
I miss you.
Deciding what to do with my 401k money was another. I didn't want to mess it up. I called T. Rowe Price.
Deciding how to roll over your 401k funds can be confusing. Everything from choosing different investment options to understanding the tax implications. Call T. Rowe Price at 1-800-341-5592. We can help.
You know, you told me about the mutual funds.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, they sent me a rollover kit, Took me through it step by step.
I made it easy for you.
Yeah, piece of cake.
By providing a full range of mutual fund options, we can help you create an investment plan that meets your needs.
It's going to be a good job.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
T. Rowe Price, helping people invest with confidence for over 50 years. For a free rollover kit and a prospectus, call 1-800-341-5592.
Yeah, they're impressive, but the science used to build them was amazing. Find out how these engineering wonders came to be. Golden Gate Bridge and Disaster Proof. Beginning Tuesday at 10 Eastern, 9 Central on the Discovery Channel. The attack made headlines.
Miss Lynn here, Miss Lynn here.
It was like having
having a semi-truck slam into my airplane with a warhead on
His survival broke the odds.
So I just prayed and I said, boy, dear God, don't let me die.
His rescue united the nation.
Our job is to get us there and get us out.
I wasn't ready to bury Scott O'Grady.
The full story told by the people who were there. Behind Enemy Lines, the Scott O'Grady story. Next Sunday at 9 Eastern, 8 Central on Discovery Sunday. Coming up next, strap in to some of the world's most hair-raising thrill rides. Amusement parks, the pursuit of fun. As thrills, chills, and spills continues next on the Discovery Channel. Explore your world.
In the 1990s, Universal Studios set the hallmark for motion-based simulator rides. In addition to Back to the Future, one very imaginative filmmaker, Steven Spielberg, is responsible for two of Universal Studios' most popular attractions, both of which are updated versions of traditional Funhouse rides. E.T.'s Adventure takes advantage of the best elements of a classic dark ride and the worldwide popularity of the film's lovable alien.
One of the important things about it is that it has a character that everybody loves and everybody knows, and that gets you right into the storyline immediately. And then once you get on the ride, you experience all the thrill and fun that E.T. and his friends went through when he tried to get back to his planet. But the other thing about it is it goes beyond the film. It goes to the planet E.T. came from, and it explores that world, which is a very different kind of place.
Another one of Spielberg's blockbuster films to get the Funhouse treatment at Universal Studios Hollywood is Jurassic Park: The Ride. A direct descendant of old-fashioned water-powered dark rides, this $100 million prehistoric extravaganza taps into basic fears essential to creating a successful Funhouse experience.
People have both a fear and a fascination with dinosaurs, especially children, and the Jurassic Park ride takes all of that and the knowledge of the movie that was very successful and combines them into experience that is actually in your face.
This is not about riding in a boat and watching dinosaurs over in the distance. This is about experiencing the story of Jurassic Park firsthand.
Park security system shut down. Do you understand?
This is something that happens to you. The dinosaurs are almost within your grasp as you go through the attraction and impact you in pretty visceral and exciting ways.
Creating this 6-acre, 8-story, in-your-face experience took more than 5 years. Ride designers had to literally invent a new form of animatronics, as well as a special water-immersible skin covering in order to bring the dinosaurs to life.
This is really what virtual reality is all about. It's not about something you put on your head and see a condensed image on 3 sides of you. This really is a chance to, three-dimensionally live the movie.
Visitors to Universal Studios Florida theme park are enjoying a different kind of three-dimensional experience. Terminator 2 3D is a theatrical high-tech hybrid attraction produced by Digital Domain.
I definitely think Universal has raised the bar a little bit with Terminator 2. They have combined moving 3D images that go from one screen to the other.
Let's go. We don't have much time.
There are interactive live actors on the stage that go back into the screen and become 3D characters and back out. And it's seamless. You feel it, you see it, you experience it like I've never seen before.
T2 3D's live-action sequences, directed by James Cameron, were shot with customized 65mm film cameras and utilized special movable camera mounts.
In the past, 3D cameras have been static. They've been locked down in being able to shoot a static scene.
What's that?
Hey, Hondas, keep moving.
But with that film, what they did was make the 3D camera mobile. So it had a much greater sense of being right in the action.
After filming, the Digital Domain Studio created computer-generated special effects to give T2 3D a sense of futuristic realism.
Stop whining.
In addition, some sequences, like the climactic battle with the T-1000, were created entirely on the computer. At the same time, ride designers had to choreograph the on-screen action with the live stage show.
Now!
Down.
But all of T2 3D's magic doesn't show up on the screen. Creating the immersive environment and keeping 3 shows running smoothly every hour is a massive production in itself.
Hi, I'm Mike Esmond, Project Manager for Universal Studios, Orlando, Florida, and this is the T2 3D attraction. Come on, let's go check it out. The robots combine a technology similar to biofeedback that they use in modern prosthetics to let the hydraulic system move fluidly without doing the awkwardness earlier animated figures once had. So they're as lifelike as a robot can be. We're in the control room at the back of the theater where all the computers are tied into one control panel that is supervised by a technician, mainly because of the live actors and their safety. The technician allows the computer to go to its next sequence. If the technician feels that there's an unsafe condition or the show is not progressing as originally scripted, that technician has the ability to abort the show.
I said I'd be back.
This particular screen, we're looking at a panel view that allows us to do a diagnostic evaluation of what's going on with the show action equipment, and if a particular function's not working or if it's not working up to what it normally should be, it allows the technical staff to fix it either on the spot or after the attraction closes. The audio system supports the 3D image by means of having the speakers located behind each one of the screens as well as above and behind us. So you hear in 3D as well as see in 3D. It's so realistic with the 3D combined with the live action and all the other technology we've employed here that you sometimes forget you're in a movie seat.
For the better part of a century, Funhouses have delighted, shocked, and thrilled millions. But what does the future hold for this unsinkable and unique form of entertainment? Will the dark rides of today continue to thrill the generations of tomorrow?
I think as time goes by, people get more sophisticated, so they demand more when they go out. They want the parks and these movies to be on the cutting edge. They want something that they can't get at home. And I think the parks are ready to deliver that.
In the near future is going to be more like a continual development of the kind of things we see today. But the farther future will include forms of entertainment which are directly implanted into your brain. And we'll be able to do things directly into our nervous system.
We're always thinking of ways to scare you and thrill you, and as long as people need to be scared and frightened but walk away with a smile on their face, there will be Funhouses.
I think the future of Funhouses is combining old-fashioned jump-out-at-you technology with interesting new technology. In the same way that movies continue to reinvent themselves, the Funhouse will continue to reinvent itself.
Unfortunately, the old-style Funhouses, little by little, are disappearing.
But I do think some brilliant young amusement park executives are just going to realize, something really exciting would be, to have a ride in the dark with things jumping out at you.
Dark rides have existed since the beginning of time in one form or another, and they will continue to exist because there's a little bit of a dark rider in all of us. And as long as there are people, there will always be dark rides.
Noah is my name, and this ark is my claim to fame. Noah is my name. Noah is my name. Noah is my name.
Next, you turn the corner and head straight down. You know that feeling. It's the summer fun on Thrills, Chills, and Spills.